she's like, I can feel 7 lumps underneath like the lower half. So she's like, here, I'm sorry. Good thing this is a podcast because I'm like feeling myself up here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of the On the Runs podcast. I am coming to you from my normal bedroom studio. Erica is off sleeping somewhere in a bed. She hasn't woke up since her 100-miler, and we'll talk about that later. But because we talked about this last episode, let's bring someone off the bench. Who should we bring? How about let's bring Nicole Bryant, and she's back subbing in for Erica for episode 76. Nicole, what's up?
Hey guys, I'm super excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
How have you been? I haven't talked to you. Well, I've talked to you, but we haven't had you on the pod since late spring, early summer, definitely before Memorial Day. Providence Marathon, actually, it was. So,
yes. Yeah, it was Ron's episode, I think, was the last time that we chatted, like at least on the podcast.
That's right. You haven't subbed in since like Boston Marathon time, but we had you then. So last time we talked to you, you just had some new position with Greater Manchester Run Club. Let's talk about that later. You were prepping, you had athletes, you had a lot going on in your busy life. What did you do this summer? Anything noteworthy?
I had a wicked busy summer. I had a lot of fun actually this summer, which was awesome, but it went by super fast. I was in the beginning of the summer, Jaye finished radiation, which was amazing. So Justine and I were there when she finished, and we, they did a whole finish line for her at the hospital. So that was amazing to see. I ran some races. So I ran a 5K with Jackson. The kid is like running all over the place now, wants to run all the time, and told me the other day, Mommy, I want to run a marathon with you. So I'm pretty sure he's headed for that kind of life. Justine and I had like a whole weekend planned. So we did a whole best friend weekend. We went and saw the sunrise at the beach and went to breweries. So that was like a really big self-care weekend for us. I took a hip hop class.
Ooh, hip hop.
I'd always wanted to do that. Yeah. I went and like did this whole hip hop class. I felt so uncomfortable and just awkward at first. And then I just realized like all the people in the class were just going for it. So I was like,
that's so cool.
Screw this. I'm just going to go for it. It was awesome and so much fun.
I actually did that in college. I took a hip hop.
Did you really?
I took a hip hop class. Well,
is there a video?
No, but I was in the boxing club, and I loved boxing club. I never really boxed anybody, but it's just this working out all the time, and it was awesome cardio workouts. Some girls came to boxing club. They all played on the field hockey team. I was friends with all the field hockey girls. We lived on the same floor, and they're like, come to hip hop class. So we started going to hip hop. They started coming to boxing. It wasn't a class for credits. It was like a hip hop class in the gym. It was a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And then when you're done doing the moves, you kind of just do your own thing. So it was a lot of fun. I tried something else very new, it's called Axe Women. So I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I did. I was at the state fair, the Hopkinton Fair, and I saw this on the brochure, and I was with my friends, my daughter's friends and their parents, and we were given, Brittany was the mom of my daughter's friend. We're like, Brittany, you doing the Axe Women tournament there? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm ready. And I saw you did that.
I did. Yeah. So that was me. I was there. So now I'm part of their team. So I did axe throwing, I think the last day of the fair. I actually competed, so I did pretty well. And then I'm learning how to log roll.
So this is axe throwing like darts where you throw it at a target?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? You just go for the middle, I guess. I did that once at work, but
yeah, you go.
For some reason, I thought it was like the women lumber games involved axe throwing and like axe cutting or saw cutting of a log.
It does. It includes saw. So I'm not doing that quite yet, but they do. They cut wood. So they chop wood with an axe, and then it's chainsaw. So it's a chainsaw competition. So there's two women on either side of the piece of wood, and then they chainsaw and see who gets the most cookies is what they call them when you saw them off. So if this person gets 3 and this person gets 2, then the person with 3 wins, and then whoever gets the most points for the axe throwing, and then whoever stays on the log longest when you're log rolling.
So this is legit. Like, you're doing this. This is your next
Yeah,
thing.
it's just a hobby. It's just for fun. So one of my I dispatched for Marine Patrol in the summers years ago, and one of the officers who's now retired is married to a woman who is a log roller. She actually log rolled across the Missouri River, the whole thing in 30 minutes. The woman is unstoppable. She's amazing. And so they started this company because she wanted to put out a company about women who can do the same thing as the men can do. And there's a lot of people on the team. So one of my best friends, Cheryl, who I used to dispatch with years ago, also at Marine Patrol, does it also. So it's a lot of fun. So it's really cool to see.
Now wait, you said Marine Patrol. What lake?
All of them. Marine Patrol dispatches for all of the lakes
When did
in
you
New
do
Hampshire.
my college roommate I lived with in the summers, he was Marine Patrol. When did you do this?
Was
Have we
it?
talked about this before?
I don't think we've ever discussed this.
My friend Kevin Foss did Marine Patrol.
I know Kevin Foss.
You know Kevin Foss? Oh my
I do.
God.
I think I know every officer in the state pretty much at this point because I dispatched for Marine Patrol, Belknap County, and State Police.
What a small world. He was my college
know.
buddy. He was my ski buddy. And I lived on his couch for an entire summer in between junior and senior year of college. A guy offered me work up there, construction work, and I lived on Kevin's couch, and he was gone every night. He did the night shift Marine Patrol. And
Yeah.
he is now a police chief for his local small town up in the mountains. So he let me park my camper at his police station a few weeks ago. And that's right, we didn't even talk about this. I did a bike ride in the Waterville Valley area, and I parked he let me park at his PD. But bike rides and triathlons, you did a triathlon.
Yes, I did. I
That's
have
not
that
even
on
in
my
the
thing.
show notes. How'd I forget?
I don't know, but I put it on my list.
Yes.
I did. I finished my very first sprint triathlon, and I fell in love with the entire sport, which now I'm realizing it is not a cheap sport.
No. There's those funny memes of like people laughing. One's with your boy Leo laughing like, "Oh, triathlon's not expensive after you buy the bike," and they're all like,
Yeah.
"Wrong."
So I'm gonna do the half Ironman next July, at the end of July in Augusta, Maine.
Okay, that
And
is July. Yeah,
yeah,
you
and
asked
it's
me to do it.
expensive.
You asked me to
I
do it,
know,
but
but
it's
you're
on
busy
Ashley's
that week.
birthday.
It's Ashley's birthday, so
Yeah.
I mean, I get that. Yeah,
You first
choose
asked
her
me to
birthday.
do Springfield, and I was all in, and then you're like, "Nope, I'm doing
So
Maine."
I was going to do Springfield until everybody in my run club who does triathlons are like, we want you to do a couple more like Olympic style triathlons before you jump into a half. So there's more time in between
Yeah. Oh,
that.
that's super true. That's super
Yeah.
true. I will find if you find an Olympic, you tell me. I will do the Olympic.
Okay.
I am thinking about selling my triathlon bike, which is way too big. I can't sell it to you. It's way too large for you. You need a kid's bike.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Nice, thank you.
Well, if you remember a year ago when my truck was stolen, I got the truck back, but they really stole my bike with one wheel. So again, the guy must be really good at wheelies. But I miss my road bike. I miss going on road bike rides with guys and people, and I am thinking about selling my triathlon bike to get a road bike. And when I do a big Ironman again, I will then look into upgrading my triathlon bike.
There you go.
Yeah, I really missed out this summer. I went on less rides because I didn't want to ride alone. I mean, I don't mind riding alone, but you don't want to ride an arrow the whole time. You'll learn that. Like, I think if I were you, I would just buy a nice road bike. And you can get arrow
Yeah, I'm
bars and
looking.
put it on it. So
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking right now. There's a bunch of people in my run club for GMRC who have bikes, and so I'm looking at different kinds, and they're keeping an eye out for people they know. So I'll find one.
Yeah. And if you don't, you have to get rid of those knobby tires.
Yes, I will get rid of it. Yeah, I get it. I sucked at the bike because of the bike. It wasn't me. It was the bike. The bike was way too heavy during the course. Let's also talk about the fact it was supposed to be 11.3 miles and it ended up being 14 and a half.
Yeah.
Because of all the rain. So I kicked ass at the run. Obviously, like I'm a good runner. So what I realized from doing this is that triathletes are really not into running. A lot of people were walking or like jogging, I'm going to call it, because it really wasn't jogging. But it was just, I had a really good pace when I was running. I missed a turn, but other than that, the swim went really well for me too. I was actually very scared when I got in the water. I was like, I know that we did a bunch of open swims. You helped me a lot, so thank you so much for that. And then
Absolutely.
um, it wasn't as scary once I got in and kept, just moved forward. It was actually like I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. I did knock one person in the head, and I felt really, really bad about it. I was like, I'm
Sure.
sorry, but I'm trying to breathe. And
Sure you felt
oh my
bad.
god. And then I saw Sarah talking on the pod about, like, Nicola's goals, but I feel really bad and I feel like I belong here because she was, the bike and I beat her by, because Erica had to point out that I beat her by 2 minutes. So
It was
I was like,
awesome. It
okay.
was great. No, I
So, but it
mean,
was nice. I thought her words were very nice. Like
you are
I was very happy
goals.
with that. I love that.
We'll get into some of our goals later at the end. But I
Hmm.
actually got to ask you this question because last night you had made a post and you put a little Taylor Swift on the music on the post. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering, are you a Swiftie?
No.
No?
No, I like her music, but I don't. No, I'm not like waiting in line for tickets. And not to say that, those who are obsessed with her or love her music,
Yeah, we
I
got to
like
be
her music.
careful what we talk about with these Swifties.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Like I'm not huge into her life. I don't know half the people she's dated. I don't read into her songs. I don't know. I saw like, like the whole Travis, who's she dating now?
Yeah,
Chelsea?
Travis
Yeah.
Kalise, and that's what I want to ask you because you're typically pretty in, I think, with like what's going on. Like what I remember is the Leo. Leo always dated younger girls, and you would make funny posts or comments, and you
Yeah.
maybe
The me.
you're in tune for what's going on in the pulp culture world, but sometimes maybe you're making fun of it or some. I don't know. I was just wondering if you've been following this Taylor Swift and Travis Kalise thing, and do you think it's real? Is it fake? I'm hearing like it's for Hollywood. They're putting on a show.
It's probably for him. His jersey sales went up 400% because of that.
All these Swifties, have you seen these videos of these girls that we're
Yes.
calling Swifties, like going to their boyfriends, these big athletic boyfriends? Oh, this Travis guy is, it's pretty cool. He's popular now. And all the boyfriends are like, oh,
Yeah.
he was a pretty
He,
big deal
he was
before this,
pretty a
too.
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty down to earth guy. I listened to a podcast the other day and he was on it. So he's a pretty down to earth, genuine person, it sounds like. So it doesn't really sound like he would just randomly like do this, but I don't know
Well,
if
if
it's
he's a
for
good,
PR.
down to earth guy, I don't know why he would do this because there'll be a song about him in a couple of years after it doesn't work out.
Probably. I mean, not probably, definitely.
And bigger news, did you see who was in New Hampshire this week?
I did. Yes, Adam
Yes.
Sandler. Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not that uncommon, I guess.
It's
I've
not.
just,
That's why I think people are just like, "Oh my god." And I saw a picture on was it Facebook, and then somebody had commented, "Where was this picture taken?" But you can clearly see the lettering in the back, so you saw it was the Manchester Mall.
yeah, Mall of New
And I
Hampshire.
knew, yes, and I had said out loud that why wouldn't you know that? Everybody knows what the Manchester Mall is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did see that. There's a few pictures floating around of him.
I've yet to run into him, but I
Yeah.
always tell people, like, a lot of people will say to me, oh, I'm visiting. Where should I go to eat? In Manchester. And I told them two places. I say, one, go to the Puritan back room. Like, that's just kind of a cool spot to eat. You kind of got to find it because you got to go in through the back. And I always say, they have the best chicken fingers or chicken wing. Yeah, chicken tenders. They have the best
Hmm.
chicken. And by the way, Manchester is now the home of the chicken tender. That's news this
Really?
past summer.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Then I told him to go to a place called, oh, now I'm super mad because I forgot the name of it. It's where you would go in the middle of the night after a night of drinking and you go and get
Like
breakfast there.
the airport diner?
No, but it's like a diner. It's in the Red Arrow. The Red Arrow.
Oh, the
How
Red
did I
Arrow.
forget that? The Red Arrow. I'm like, you go check out the Red Arrow if you're up at like 2 a.m. Go there. I haven't been to neither of these places in years, but I still tell people go there, and you're likely at both spots to run into Adam Sandler if he's in New Hampshire.
Isn't the Red Arrow Diner that like the oldest diner in New Hampshire or something? It's very small inside.
Let's go to this website. I found a pretty cool website. It's called google.com. Let me check it out. Let me check
Is
it
it
out.
new? Did you find that through your Android? You just figured it out?
It's because I have a Google phone now. We're going to get to some in
Oh.
the outro. We're going to do some iPhone talk because you guys are borrowing our chargers and we're not happy about it.
Oh, you guys can get over it.
Red,
We're not happy with your green text, so there you go.
you don't like us just because of the color of our text? Come on. All right. The Red Arrow
Correct.
Diner in Manchester, New Hampshire. No free ads. Let's see. Is there a little about page here about the diner, the team? Let's see. The Red Arrow Diner first opened up on Lowell Street in Manchester, New Hampshire back in October of 1922, 101 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the oldest, but that is old. That is old.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of October, since the Red Arrow Diner was born in the month of October, it is October and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And last year, we celebrated Breast Cancer Awareness Month and we had on three amazing, inspiring women. We had Nikki Bacon, Jackie Hellier, and Angela Pohl. And they told us these amazing stories of just the people, the family and friends, the community, and how they had to deal with breast cancer when they were diagnosed and how running played a role in the running community. A lot of them raised money for breast cancer awareness through running. It was an amazing month where like we have to bring it back. During that time or before, we met you and Justine, who you're best friends. You're the tripod. You have the tripod of the two of you and Jaye. And at the time, Jaye was diagnosed with breast cancer. And you and Justine teamed up and put on a 5K where you raised over $5,000. So Jay's our guest for our first breast cancer awareness episode this month. But why don't you talk about Jaye real quick, a little bit about your relationship with her again for it's been a whole year. We have a lot of other listeners. Let's hear a little more what you think of Jaye because you actually missed the conversation, the interview. You're going to hear Erica when we get to it.
Yeah. I can't believe it's been a year already. So that seems a little wild. Yeah, I mean Justine and I watched Jaye go through all of her treatments, just everything with her family, and that woman is a fighter and she is a true inspiration of, what it means to push through difficult things, hard things when you really don't have a choice. Um, not once did I ever see her give up. I watched her push through to keep herself, in shape, not necessarily for her body, but for her mind. I think there were very few times where she seemed negative, and I wouldn't necessarily call it negative, more so just it's cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to feel sad, you're allowed to feel down, you're allowed to feel that, but she never once let it consume her. And that was the bravest thing I've ever seen her do. Um, and her family was always there. And, when she went to Providence with us. And, while Justine ran the marathon and I ran the half. And I remember just, Justine and I always write on our arms, like, if Jaye can do it, so can we. And so, that was a tough day for a lot of people just because of the heat and everything. And I remember crossing the finish line and crying because I didn't get my PR. And I like fell into her arms and she was so comforting to me. And she's like, you worked so hard. And I'm like, why the hell am I crying? Like this woman literally went through one of the hardest things. And she was like, you're allowed to feel stuff just because I didn't do it. And it was really funny when we were in Providence, we had an Airbnb. And so the night before the marathon, we were just talking and just about the stuff that she had, in her breasts and stuff. And we were literally just sitting there just feeling her boob. And we were just talking about it. And so it was just really funny because you just see, like men always have these ideas of women's sleepovers in their head of they're hitting the pillows with each other and the feathers are flying and we're in our underwear. And I was like, wow, this would be one guy's like true dream come true if he could like any guy could see us just feeling your boobs right now.
Some like 12-year-old boys in the house next door like
oh my God. Right? Oh my God. Like, guys, come see this. Come see this.
Yeah. They're all going to plan a big sleepover the next year, the night before the marathon, hoping you get the same Airbnb.
Yeah, no kidding. There was a big porch, so you're going to see them all like sitting out there like a Black Friday sale. Just
oh my God. What a story. What a story.
Oh
Thanks
my
for
gosh.
bringing
It was
that.
wicked funny. It was really funny, but she is just an amazing, amazing woman. She worked so hard and I know she's back to work now and
Yeah.
her husband was so supportive and that was amazing to see. And Her boys were, just as supportive and there for their mom. And I think just watching the community come together for the 5K, I would love to do it again at some point for, down the road,
I think that'd
host
be
it, raise some
awesome.
more money. Yeah, raise some more money just for, even if it was an individual through the pod or, just donate it to a breast cancer, just a breast cancer donation. What is it? Susan B. Komen?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't want to be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, we're going to cut that one. So
If it's right, I'll leave it.
thank you so much. So it just, it's been a good year for her. I mean, she's doing really well. Her runs lately have been so amazing. I know that there's days where she's like, I don't feel that great. Obviously, when you're going through treatments, you don't feel that great. And she just, even if she didn't feel good, she got up, she walked, she would run when she felt good. So I think it's just a true testament to her strength. And that it's really just a true testament to anybody that, going through a difficulty, no matter what it is, you can push through and you can get to the other side of something. But I really think it's all in your mind, and if she didn't have that positive mindset, if she didn't get up off the couch, if she didn't move her body, um, I don't think that she would be like running the paces she's doing now, and she wouldn't be in the place where she's in. And I think that physical activity really helped her get there, which isn't easy when you're tired and you're having needles shoved in your body or you're going through radiation and, just having all this poison poured into your body and you feel like absolute garbage. Who wants to get up and go for a run or a walk? But she would say, nope, I got to do it just because I need to move my body. Um, and so it's just been amazing to watch her go through that and to persevere through it. And I'm so proud of her and so happy that, she's, just over a lot of it.
I agree. You're going to hear a lot about it on the interview, and we'll get to that in 1 second. But it is the Susan G. Komen, Komen. That's why I was like, it starts with a K.
I think I said B. It was
You
B.
did say B, but we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it.
That's so great. Thank you.
But let's get to our first interview for the month of October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that is Jaye Duncan. So, guys, enjoy Jaye Duncan on the On the Runs podcast. Our next guest on the pod is a special friend of the pod that we met last year. Besides from running, she's a football mom, a lawyer, and she likes to shred it on the slopes. Last year, we got to know a lot more about her when we had our friends Justine and Nicole join us to promote the 5K for Jaye. She's here now to share her story with all of us. It is our pleasure to welcome Jaye Duncan to the On the Runs podcast. What's up, Jaye?
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
It's honestly our pleasure. We are so excited to have you. We've known you for about a year now,
Yeah.
and it's about time we finally get to dive in and get to know you a little bit more personally. So, shall we get into it? You ready?
We are here for you, Jaye, because we got to know you, like Erica said, about a year ago when you had the unfortunate diagnosis of breast cancer, and we're doing our Breast Cancer Month again. But before we even get into Breast Cancer Awareness and Breast Cancer Month, I think we want to get to know you a little bit better than what we knew even a year ago.
All right.
So, Jaye, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up? Did you do any sports when you were growing up, or were you always a runner, or did you pick that up later in life? Just let us know about your growing up.
All right. So I grew up in Pennsylvania, in Scranton, of the Office fame. There is no Dunder Mifflin Paper Company there. Sorry. I was not athletic at all growing up, at all. I didn't play a single sport. I didn't run one bit. I was a dancer, so I was, somewhat active, but running is definitely something that came to me kind of later in life. I read a little bit in college, kind of just, here and there if I was bored at the gym or whatever. But it was really more in law school when I started really running.
How long has it been when you wound up meeting Justine and Nicole?
I think it's been about 2 years, I think. But last year's kind of like a blur, and it kind of like messes up my time on everything else. So I think it might be 3 years now, but I think it was 2. I think it was about 2 years ago.
Did Justine like find you on Instagram and ask you a bunch of questions, like a survey, like she did with Nicole? And was she like, is this my kind of friend I want to be a running partner with? Or did you just like bump into her on the street?
No, so it definitely happened on Instagram. I don't remember a survey. I really feel like she just said to me, Nicole and I are running, meet us at 5:00. And I just went along with it and didn't really question it. I think it was that simple. I don't remember it being like super complicated. I think she just reached out to me and the magic happened.
And the magic really did happen because you guys are so tight knit. It was wonderful to see your friendship.
Kind of unfortunately, but fortunately got like the gas pedal, if that makes sense. But once I got sick, she really was the number one person that was there for me without question.
You said Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'm very familiar because I've driven through it a lot, but we're in New Hampshire. You live now in New Hampshire. How did you come northeast? It was love, wasn't it? It was a boy.
No, it wasn't. Well, I guess years ago it was a boy. It's really kind of a complicated story. So I grew up in Pennsylvania, and then I went to Syracuse for college, and I was there for 3 years. And then I did leave for a boy. I went out to Colorado, and the boy that I went out to Colorado with, he grew up in Laconia. So when we were done in Colorado, we just migrated back this way. Went our separate ways when we got back here. I wound up going to law school in Boston. Then I went back home to Pennsylvania where I was studying for the bar. I then met my husband like really shortly after that, but he was already like well established in Florida. So then I bopped from Pennsylvania all the way down to Florida, and I hated it. I was so miserable. I absolutely hated it, like wanted to leave. And I kept telling my husband, like, I want to go back to Boston. I want to go back to Boston. He's like, oh, fine. Maybe when we retire, maybe we can go back then, which is like the opposite of what people do, right? Nobody goes to New Hampshire north to retire. But he was working down there. He was really well established in his career. So it made sense that we were staying. After we had the boys and kind of like saw what the school system was like down there, and we're kind of like watching the crime down there, he finally caved and said, okay, I'll move north now. So that we moved back 7 years ago. Yeah, give or take 7 years ago, the end of 2015, we moved back here. We were in Massachusetts for like less than a year, but my husband, so I had already fallen in love with New Hampshire when I lived here during college. I lived up in the Lakes region, loved it, like would have happily gone back there any day of the week. But my husband was like hiking a lot. So he would drive from Massachusetts to New Hampshire. And he just kept trying to convince me to move here. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense because he was working in Mass at the time. I'm like, why do you want to have an hour-long commute? That is stupid. But finally, I don't know, we just ended here. We just found a house, like fell in love with it. And here we are 7 years later. That was like the longest version.
Well, the Florida part makes sense now because when I did my creeping earlier, I saw a lot of Tampa Bay Lightning and Tampa Bay Rays apparel, and I was like, I don't know if Jay's bringing up her kids right. They're not Bruins fans. What's going on?
Like we are die-hard Lightning fans in this family.
Oh,
die-hard. Sorry.
This is not, we are not off to a good start. I thought we were friends. I thought we were like, it's not even like she's a fan of another team in another division. Tampa's in the same division. This is tough. This is really hard.
And we routinely beat you.
You were what?
Ha!
routinely beat you guys. So,
but not in 2011.
No, not in 2011.
My one of my good friends, his name is Ryan. He was my roommate when I lived in North Carolina, and we worked in NASCAR together. He's a diehard Tampa Bay Lightning fan. So two parts of the story. One, NASCAR was in Miami. We were down there for work. The Bruins played the next day, so we drove. We did not get back on the free plane back home. We got a rental car. We drove to Tampa. We stayed at his friend's house. We went to a Tampa Bay Lightning game, his first ever Lightning game.
Oh, nice.
And the Bruins lost. And it was the only time in my life I've been okay with a loss, because my friend was going, he was just like, he was on cloud nine. He was so excited. He'd never seen the Lightning, never seen the arena, and they won the game, and he was so pumped. So I was like, good for you, Ryan. We'll see how we do in the playoffs. That same year, we played Tampa Bay in the playoffs 2011 in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we won in 7 games and went on to win the Stanley Cup. But the thing about the story is he's also a Green Bay Packers fan, and I am so superstitious. I would lie down on this one couch every game, and I had the same Green Bay Packers. I had his Green Bay Packers blanket on my feet. And the Bruins won, so I did it again, and I did it again. We kept winning, and I didn't tell him, because if I told him how superstitious I was and what I was doing, he would have messed with me during that series, and it would have freaked me out, and we would have lost, and it would have been like a race to get home and lie on the couch, and you can never get off to even go pee, because that's what he would have done. When we won Game 7, I think like 2 words were spoken that whole game. We just watched it in silence, and the 2 words were out of his mouth. 3 words. Well, that sucks.
It's accurate.
And I was like, going to the finals. But yeah, in recent years, he beat us. So
yeah, we got that.
See, I'm learning new things about even him still. Like I have not heard that.
Do you ever
before.
make it back to Florida?
Yeah, we go back once a year.
Do you have family there, or?
Nope. So we have a couple of straggling friends down there that we've kept in contact with. But for the most part, we just love it and go back.
It's a good place to go visit, recharge the batteries type of state. You go in the winter months, you need a little recharge, you get that vitamin D, and then you come back up here for the last few months of winter and skiing, because I watch vicariously your life through Instagram, and you and your family do so much fun, cool shit. Skiing, hiking, camping, lake life, the sports. You're so involved in your kids' life with sports and football. In fact, like college is coming up. I think maybe a little nervous about what's going to be next for them, but like family life seems pretty awesome for you. I kind of look up to see what's coming up for me, because I'm right behind you.
Yeah. So you're not too far behind. The boys are 14 and 15 now. Jamie is 15 and a half today, but he didn't want to drive. He didn't want to drive in the rain on his first day. So I didn't really want to be with him driving in the rain on his first day. So I wasn't too sad about that. But yeah, so they are both just super into sports, and it's so time consuming, but so incredible. Like I just love to watch them play and compete. So they're kind of like, I guess, 3 season athletes if you count snowboarding, which I don't know.
Counts.
That's really more of
it counts.
So I would count it.
Yeah. Cole, my baby, my 6 foot tall, 170 pound baby. He's into tackle football, and he's got some potential. He does. I know that kind of like probably every mom says that, but he's thinking like he might want to play in college, and his expectations are reasonable. He doesn't think he's going to Alabama or anything like Georgia State or anything like that, but he's thinking he might want to try like Division II or Division III, and I'm like, I don't know how to start. So Eric, you've been super helpful, and I don't know, we'll figure it out, but I can't believe it's like freshman year and I have to start thinking about that stuff.
I think he's freshman year of high school for him, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think you're doing the right things. Keep taking video. keep taking video and put the good stuff out there. And you can even set it into coaches some days. My uncle used to coach college basketball too. So I remember he would ask my mom to record all these college basketball games or things on TV in New Hampshire because he was down in Connecticut and couldn't get it. This was back in the 90s, VHS tapes. But yeah, no, I have shared a few thoughts. My comparison is in the hockey world. And I don't know how comparable it is to football with schools like in between high school and college. But yeah, so
yeah, well,
that's such a smart thing to do. That's definitely going to get them like out there, get their name out there, and have people see what they can do.
He's supposed to be setting up a Twitter account and all that other nonsense, but I don't think he really did. I think
he's not motivated for social media like somebody I know guiltily.
He's on Instagram, but I think he's just there for the reels and the laughs. I don't think he does much serious there.
Story of my life. So we know from previous episodes and from talking to you before it, Justine and Nicole are some of your best friends, and they're some of your best running friends also. So we know that you've been running with them for a few years now, but were they the ones who initially got you more into running, or was there a different story behind that?
No, so I was already like pretty deep into running by the time I met them, but I mentioned earlier that I did not grow up a runner, and I was like very casually running, like in college and a little bit into law school. But so I really got into running my last year, my third year of law school. I was at the gym. I think I was on like a bike or an elliptical machine. I was definitely not running, potentially walking on a treadmill, but I think I was on the elliptical. And I was reading, like, remember Self magazine or Shape magazine? I don't know if they still exist, but I was like reading the hard copy of it. And there was this little story, like it was like this big, like 2 paragraphs long. And it was some woman, like just some random person like me or you, just like wrote into the magazine. And they were talking about their running story or their fitness journey, whatever it was. And this woman said, I don't remember the details of the story. Obviously, it was like a million years ago. But she was talking about her fitness journey. And it was, and then my friend and I signed up for the Steamtown Marathon in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And I was like, my town has a marathon? What's a marathon? Like, I had no idea at all. I was like, I'm going to do that. And I was a poor law school student at the time. So I called up my parents and I was like, I'm going to do this marathon. Can you pay for it for me? Because I didn't have the like $80 or whatever the registration fee was. And somehow my parents like just said yes. Like, they didn't ask me, well, have you ever run? Do you know how long a marathon is? Nothing. They're just like, okay, well, if you want to do that, go ahead. I had never even run a 5K. I don't know if I knew what a marathon was like when I made this decision.
So you're going 0 to 60, like, bam.
0 to 60. I didn't have a watch, like a smartwatch or anything. I somehow convinced my very best friend, Jessica, we went to law school together. We're still friends now. I convinced her to do this with me. Like, this was a great idea. The race was in October. And I think it was like August when I convinced her to do this with me. I don't know, maybe I started training in June or July, maybe, but that's a big maybe. No watch, no hydration belt, no water, no goose. I had no idea you're supposed to fuel. I literally didn't even know you're supposed to drink water when you're running. I think I maybe did an 18-miler, maybe. Again, no watch. So I was just kind of like driving my car around. I lived in Newton at the time, in Newton, Mass. So I was like kind of driving. I'm like, well, I think if I run out this way, this is whatever, 8 miles, 7 miles. So I think in retrospect, I probably didn't even do an 18-miler. It was probably I don't know, 12, 14 miles at the most. But I did it. I did the marathon. I do not recommend anybody follow that plan. Like, do a 5K, do a 10K, do something other than a marathon. I don't know how I finished it, but I did. And then I didn't run another marathon for like, I don't know, like 5 years. Jeez, maybe it was longer. Maybe it's 10 years. No.
It's been about 5 years since my first marathon, and I've done another one since, but not a marathon. I've done an Ironman,
Yeah.
but no, it's been that long.
Still
So you
counts.
had the Jaye Duncan marathon training plan back then. And looking back, you said you don't advise to do that, but I think a lot of people actually do that. A lot of people just dive right in, go 0 to 60. So when you
I don't think I was even running during the week. I honestly think I just ran my long run on Saturdays and was like, I got this. I'm going to run this marathon.
Well, that just shows your pure determination and will. Like,
Yeah.
that just shows
Yeah.
like the type of person you are.
So at what point did you realize though that you shouldn't do the Jaye Duncan marathon training plan? Like, was it years later when you signed up for your next
Yeah,
one and you're like,
I think
oh, there's
so.
like, if you go to google.com and you can find all these
Mhm.
plans and like, oh, I did it so wrong last time. At what point did that all like cross through your head?
You know, I think like even after I ran that marathon, like I didn't know anything about anything in terms of running. Like I still don't know if I knew you could do 5Ks. I think maybe I just thought, well, if you run and you want to do a race, you have to do a marathon. Um, when I moved to Florida, so like a couple of years later, I met a girl who was really into like running and triathlon, and she had kind of, slapped me straight in terms of like, what the heck are you doing? So I think that's probably when I realized, ooh, that was really bad. So I did. I don't remember. I probably just used the Hal Higdon plan on the internet. I didn't have a coach or anything like formal or fancy, but marathon number 2, I did take, I think, like a half hour or so off my abysmal time from the first one. And then I want to say it was like after my second marathon, that's when I was just like head over heels. And living in Florida, in Tampa, I mean, you probably could race every day of the week if you looked hard enough, but you certainly could race a 5K or a sprint
Even in the middle of
triathlon.
July, it's got to be
Mhm.
brutal. Is that like a 3 a.m. race?
I think they were more like 6 or 7 a.m. starts, but it was much easier to find like a triathlon in July than it was a shorter race. It's certainly not a longer race. I mean, you probably could if you looked hard enough, but that was like prime sprint triathlon time. So
When you got really into running, were you still in Florida? Like when you took the next step? So how was running and training in Florida? Because I see other people who live there and they can only run, it seems, early in the morning or late in the evening. Like running during the middle day of the day there is
yeah,
brutal.
I don't know. It never bothered me. So I tended to run at 4 a.m. just because that's what worked with my schedule. So the boys were like little back then. They were, I don't know, like 2, 3, 4 years old. So I needed to be there. I was still working full time. My husband was working full time. My parents were down there to help with like childcare and stuff like that. But, I didn't want to miss my kids' lives to be out running. So between work and kids, that was like really all that worked for me, was super, super early. Now you couldn't pay me enough money to get out of bed before 5 o'clock. And you certainly cannot pay me to go out and run at 5 o'clock. Like I am a 9 a.m. at earliest, even during the summer. Nope, I don't do morning.
So you're not on Team Nicole for early morning runs. You're more Team Justine, right? Okay, good.
Justine,
Same here.
100%. We found all these like nighttime races this summer, and we were just so happy.
Like the Hollis Fast 5K.
The hall is
Yeah.
fast. We found a 5K in Newburyport, Mass. And she did the 10 miler. There was a 10 miler and a 5K. And it was like, I can't pump that race up enough. I know you guys don't do like free advertising, and I'm
Oh, hey, do
not
whatever you want.
associated with them at
That's
all.
a
But
joke. That whole hashtag no
No
free ads is like a joke.
We don't mean it.
It means we like this, but we just kind of
got
joke.
it.
No,
Got it.
that evening
It was the best race I've ever run. I cannot wait till next July to go back.
evening races sound just so much better
That's awesome.
too.
Oh, it's awesome.
And you can
That's my jam. I run after work every day if I can. So that's now that it's getting darker out, I'm getting sadder and sadder because I'm losing my running time. It's like shrinking.
Was
so
that Newburyport?
I'm totally with you.
Was that Newburyport race on a weeknight or a weekend?
It was I think it was a Tuesday night.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was perfect. And then we found one in Rye, maybe, or the general Rye area, and that was a 10K on a Thursday night. Loved it. The course was incredible, like to the point that I want to go drive my butt the hour and 20 minutes every week and run that course. It was so pretty, so flat.
Erica,
I'm going to start taking notes. I think I've got some things to do next summer.
The other advantage, Erica, if you're a race director, setup is during the day, not at 4 a.m. No early wake up call.
I do enjoy myself a nighttime race, so maybe there's some things we can come up with in the future. We'll see.
I am 100% on board with that. I will do every night race you host. I will be there.
Awesome.
Well, Jaye, let's get into it a little bit about why we brought you on. We would have brought you on anyways for any reason, but because you're going to be the first episode of October this year for us. And when we started the podcast over a year ago, I had a coworker who's like, you need to talk to my friend. Her name is Nikki Bacon. And Nikki has this amazing story about her cancer story and journey. And then not only that, but the recovery. And then it was the foundation she worked with out of Hartford, Connecticut, and how she became kind of the speaker for them or the runner and raising money for them and the meals. They made Happy Meals, was it, Erica? It was like Happy Meals or something where they made meals for somebody.
I don't think it was Happy Meals, but something along those lines.
So we decided, like, let's talk to other amazing women. And then we learned about you through Justine and Nicole. So at some point last year, you were given, can I call it a bad hand?
Yeah, that's fair.
You were given like a bad hand, a bad diagnosis, or something happened where you just found out some very unfortunate news. And I know you had the story is amazing, but can you tell us like your story from the beginning and what happened and how everyone like jumped up and supported and how you did this, family and friends and everybody, the 5K for Jaye?
Yeah, for sure. So I was diagnosed last July, it was July 8th, but I suspected something was wrong a lot earlier. So this September prior to would have been September of 2021. My chest hurt, like actual like pain, like a pulled muscle or something. And I didn't really like think much of it because, you know, I'm a runner. I am actually decent about cross training. So I thought, you know.
Oh, yeah, it happens if you're doing upper body work. Yeah, you're going to feel it. So
I didn't really think much of it. So I was going to, you know, massage out the area. And I was like, oh, no, that's not a pulled muscle. That's like something protruding from my body.
Oh, no.
So kind of like, you know, took a step back, like regrouped a second and then felt it again. I'm like, okay, I'm not losing my mind. There's definitely something there. Mm-hmm. So I came out, my husband, I was in the bathroom and just like getting ready for the day or something. I don't even remember because it was like a big nothing day, right? I wasn't writing down the details. So my husband was in our living room, I think. So I came out and I'm like, Chris, can you feel this? There's a lump in my chest. Can you feel it? And he's like, no, I'm not touching it. And I'm like, stop being dramatic and just I need to am I going crazy or is there something coming out of my body? So he touched it and I could just tell immediately the look on his face. And he's like, you need to call your doctor. And of course, it's Labor Day when this happens. So I'm like, well, I can't because nobody's there. So I call my doctor. She has me come in 2 days later, I think, and she confirmed that there was a lump. Sends me for, she not only confirms that there's a lump, but then she's trying to convince me that there's 7 more lumps. The lump that I felt was on like the top half or like the upper left portion. She's like, I can feel 7 lumps underneath like the lower half. So she's like, here, I'm sorry. I'm good thing this is a podcast because I'm like feeling myself up here. She's trying to get me to like find them. And I'm like, I don't feel 7 more lumps, but okay. So I go in for my mammogram and the mammogram doesn't show anything. Go in for an ultrasound. The ultrasound doesn't show anything. Guys, you could see this through my skin. Like it winds up being 9 centimeters, and I'm not mixing up centimeters and millimeters. It was 9 centimeters. You could see it through my body. And the mammogram and the ultrasound said it was fine. There was nothing concerning, nothing to worry about. So I just get sent to routine maintenance like a car. I get set up with a breast surgeon. It's still kind of COVID-y time. She winds up getting COVID. My appointment gets canceled. Yeah. So it wasn't like the height of COVID. I was still able to go in and get doctor's appointments, but the reality was everywhere was still understaffed and I was, trying to get into a hospital. So I see her, I don't know, February, maybe, give or take. She confirms she can see it, but we're just going to monitor it. Do you feel it? Yeah. Is it painful? No, not really. So I think I want to say my second visit with her, we were still kind of just on the monitoring plan. And then my third visit, but I could be wrong about that. It could have been the second one. I may have only saw her twice. So she asks me at that point, she's like, okay, well, it's still there. It's obviously not going away or getting better. She gives me the option of having a biopsy or waiting until my annual mammogram, which would come up in September. And I just said, okay, well, what are we going to do in September? We'll probably biopsy it. I'm like, can we do it now? So I had to. It is just another one of those frustrating stories where like you have to advocate for yourself because I don't know. It's scary to think if I had just, and normally I'm a pushover. I'm the first to admit it. Like I fight all day in court for my clients. Like when it comes to myself, I'm just like, whatever. I'll get through it. It's not that big of a deal. But for some reason I pushed for this one and I said, no, I want to have the biopsy right now. And I'm really glad I did because it's scary to think that if I had waited until September when she wanted me to, have my annual mammogram, like I could be dead right now. And it's just so weird and bizarre to think about.
Right. And it's already been 6 months since you first felt the lump. It took 6 months to get 2 appointments.
That's a long time.
That's wild how long it takes. I know it was COVID and people were getting and scheduling, but like that's wild. 6 months later.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like you could see this lump coming out. Like you could look at me. You didn't even have to be a doctor and you could see it. But I don't know.
Was it growing during that 6 month period? You said it was 9 centimeters, or was it just always the same?
I don't think it grew. I don't ever recall like touching it and thinking, oh my gosh, it's so much bigger now. But I also kind of think that once I had the mammogram and the ultrasound and got like the clean bill of health, I think I kind of just like moved on with my life, if that makes sense. Like, I think I was still kind of weirded out that it was there and I didn't really have like an answer, but I don't think I paid as much attention to it. At least that I can remember in chemo, really.
I mean, you go and trust your doctors, and if they don't seem so alarmed about it, why should you put that stress on yourself? But
yeah,
it kind of boggles my mind that if your first doctor found like you had the one and then she found 7 others, like how it just doesn't make sense to me how she could be so lax about it.
There weren't 7 others, just to be clear.
Oh.
She couldn't
I was like, oh my God.
My primary care physician definitely was like, there's 7 underneath here, but my breast surgeon.
Okay, so it wasn't, but
no, sorry, I should have cleared that up.
No, but still, like it just, I would be more alarmed. Like I don't know, it would freak me out, and I you have to trust your doctors, but then again, like, what do you do?
And I think I just wanted so badly for it to be nothing that when I was told, like, you had a mammogram, you had an ultrasound, like we did the extra steps, I think I was just happy, like, okay, like moving along. I have a weird lump and it's just part of me. And yeah, so.
So you advocated for yourself like 6-7 months later and you got the biopsy.
Yeah, so it was, and this another like frustrating medical story. So I had the biopsy was scheduled, and I guess my breasts were like asymmetrical, which I don't know. I never really noticed. I didn't really pay that much attention. But to my breast surgeon, the right one, which was non-cancerous, was significantly or at least noticeably bigger than the left one, which had the lump. So when she did the biopsy, she's like, I'm only going to take out exactly what I need because I don't want to like deform your breasts anymore. And I like looking back on it, I should have just demanded she take the whole damn thing. But I don't know. Like, again, you just trust the doctor. And so when I had the biopsy done, obviously she didn't get clean margins. That's like fancy cancer speak to say that all of the cancer is gone and the skin around it's clean, it's healthy. So when we did the biopsy, 1, we found out it was cancer, and 2, we found out that there was like a freaking lot of it in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
when she didn't get the clean margins, that just means that there's still cancerous cells around and they can keep spreading, correct?
Yeah. So at that point, like after the biopsy, she only took out like a small chunk. So there was still, there was still a lump there. I could still see it and feel it. She didn't take the whole thing out. So yeah, it was still there.
Yeah.
So after this, what month are we in it? You were diagnosed in July. Is it July yet?
Yeah, all of this happens in July. So my surgery was July 6th. And I found out on July 8th. So everything happened like so fast. And then, so I got the diagnosis on July 8th, and I don't remember what she said, but maybe it was something along the lines of, it's bigger than I thought, or I think, let's go with that, because that makes the most sense. And that's probably what happened, is she said it was bigger than she thought. So I wound up having to have an MRI. Yes, an MRI. I think that got scheduled like the next week. I think I found out on a Friday, and I want to say the appointment started like the following week. Everything was just so freaking fast. So when I had the MRI, that's when we found out that it was just like, it was the size of a plum.
Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was freaking big.
Yeah,
humongous. So when we did the MRI, then she noticed that one of my lymph nodes looked odd. And I don't know if my doctor was just like never wanted to be the one to bear bad news, be the bearer of bad news, but she was basically like, well, it's probably just because you had the surgery, but we should go in and biopsy it and make sure that that's fine. But she was like so convinced that the lymph node was like distorted because I just had the biopsy. She was wrong. So we then found out that there was cancer in the lymph node too, which just meant that it was kind of like, starting its little progression throughout my body. So once we found out that it had already, the technical term is that it's like, it is metastatic cancer, but it's like locally metastatic or something along those lines. Like when it goes to your organs and becomes stage 4, that's called distant. Like this is just local. Like it's not great, obviously, but it doesn't really like make an early cancer diagnosis horrific. Like it's not what you want to hear, but it's something that can be treated. But because like it was in the lymph nodes, which connects your body, right. I don't understand science at all, but I think like the lymph nodes is how stuff moves through your body. So then we had to check my liver, my lungs, my bones, and my brain. Oh, wow. So I think my liver was first, and like, of freaking course, there's like 2 spots in my liver. So now I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much worse than I thought. So I wish I could remember all the technical names for the tests, but I had like whatever the basic test was on the liver first, like, I don't know, like just a CAT scan or something. And then we had to up the ante, and I had to have like the dye put inside of me. And like I was on an IV and I was in an MRI, but those wound up being like, I think the word was like hepatic cells or something. I don't know, formal word for not cancer.
Okay. So that's good at least.
Yeah. But like, unfortunately, that was the first test that I had. Like we hadn't even looked at my brains or my bones yet.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Let me ask,
but those are all fine.
Let me ask you this, because I'm amazed how long this took. You felt that first lump and you saw it on Labor Day. You weren't diagnosed for another 10 months, but you went to doctor's offices. You even talked about, let's do a biopsy back in February. So 6 months after when you first felt it. Then you actually have the biopsy in July. So everything seems to be like, we got time, not a hurry. Is everything now speeding up? Like, oh, we got to do this test and that test and do all these things. Like, are they realizing now, like you just waited 10 months, almost a year, not you, not you, Jaye, this isn't your fault, but, and I don't want to blame anybody either, but it's been 10 months. It's like, now you're realizing we might have to up the ante here.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everything just went by so fast. I was diagnosed on July 8th and I had my first chemo on August 5th. And like, that's just freaking so fast. Right. But after all the testing came back, it did wind up being stage 3, grade 3, which is the most aggressive. Like it doesn't really get much worse than that. So yeah, we kind of, everything just went into high gear. Once we knew it was contained to my breast, and didn't spread anywhere else, we put the treatment plan, went into place so fast, and just, I mean, I won't say where I started my cancer treatment. I'll be happy to say where I'm finished and where I'm a patient now, but I won't name names, even though I want to. But I didn't even get the like chemo education course. So everything I learned about the do's and don'ts of chemo, I either learned through my Instagram group, The Warrior Women. Yeah. Or I Googled it. Like no one told me you can't have grapefruit while you're on chemo. Like it could interact with it. Like, no, I didn't. Not that I eat grapefruit anyway, but I mean, I do like grapefruit seltzer. So,
but that seems like an important thing you want to tell. Like if it's going to make your chemo less effective, like
nothing.
Oh, man.
I didn't, nobody had a conversation with me about, don't drink alcohol when you're on chemo. Again, not that I did, because I felt like I was on my deathbed most days, but just nobody told me what to do or what
Right.
not to do. Like I felt like I was flying by the seat of my pants. But in the same breath, I was so grateful that it didn't have to get drug out. Because I mean, if I had waited for the chemo education class, like who the heck knows when that would have gotten scheduled. And again, at that point, I was already thinking like this needs to get out of my body,
Right.
and I'm not waiting.
Well, it's amazing like what the internet can be, because they say like don't Google when you feel something, don't Google it, right? But the other side of that is
Guilty.
you could go to Instagram or TikTok or YouTube and you can learn about the communities or the support systems or like what not to do or what to do. And I think you found that in Instagram, because I think before we even met them or talked to them last year, you already knew who Angela was and Nikki, or maybe not Nikki, but Jackie for sure. You knew them. And there's this Instagram community of women who are going through the same thing you were going through, whether it was stage 1 or stage 4, you guys all connected.
Yeah. So we have a group now. There are 8 of us, I think. I'd have to go back and count. I think it's 8. We are all marathon runners or runners of some sort. I think everybody in the group is either actively training for a marathon or has run a marathon. We're all about similar age range. I think maybe Ange is a little on the like she's the oldest one and she's not very old. So it's scary to think that there's this like community of healthy young runners who are all going through breast cancer, but in the same breath, it's just so wonderful to have them. Like, I don't know how I would have gotten through everything that I've gotten through, or even now, because they all finished treatment. I was like the last one to finish treatment, like the baby of the group. So they've all at least have some experience with like the stuff I'm going through now. So I'm forever asking questions like, is this bump normal? Like, what do you do when your shin hurts? Like, anybody have shoulder pain today? So it's been amazing. Like just having that support.
I'm glad you have such a nice support system. I mean, they're such a wonderful resource and they've been through it firsthand. I mean, I don't wish this upon anyone, but if you can rally together and help somebody, it's such a nice thing to have. But
it is.
So how long did you go through how long was your treatment for this?
And
did you just do chemo?
No, I wish. If this story could only be like that neat and tidy and wrapped up in that bow. Mm-hmm. So I did chemo. I started in August with what is commonly referred to as the red devil.
Ooh.
Yeah, to this day,
I don't like that. That doesn't have a good ring to it.
I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. It's like shortened to AC, nicknamed the Red Devil because it's bright red. When you
like in the IV bag, like it's bright red. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture later. It's
that's kind of scary.
This one's not in an IV bag. It's in you know what it looks like? It looks like you're at a Halloween party and like the sexy nurse is walking around with the Jello shot in the big needle. That's how.
Wow.
It goes in. So it goes in through an IV, but the nurse has to like pump it in through this needle. I'll send you a picture of it.
The sexy nurse or the bag?
I don't think
the syringe.
I think my nurse was cute, but she wasn't wearing the sexy nurse costume. Although I'm sure some of the like 80-year-old men in there would have appreciated it. Yeah. So anyway, I started that in August and I was in chemo. So the first, God, my memory is awful. The first 8 weeks, yes, the first 8 weeks, I went every other Friday. I had the Red Devil, and then one was the A and one was the C, and I can't remember which is which, but I got the Red Devil, the Jello shot one, and then an IV, like in a bag. So I got that for 8 weeks. And then for 12 weeks, every Friday, I went and got, it's called Taxol. It was the easy chemo. So
if there's such a thing.
Yeah, right. But I mean, after the Red Devil, it really did feel like a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like I was much more able to function. I wasn't quite as sick all the time. I wasn't sleeping all day long. But it was still awful. It was still chemo.
So is the Red Devil, is that like the first step, like the most aggressive kind of chemo that is just trying to kill it? Like
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it seems like that's kind of
Well,
what
I'm
it
not
is. It
really
sounds like it's
even
knocking you out.
I didn't have that chemo education class.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just kind of like guessing still at like what I went through, which is really shocking and disturbing saying it out loud. But yeah, I think you're on the right track.
So
It's
so the Red
Go ahead,
Devil,
Eric.
the Red Devil can kill cancer cells at every point of its life cycle, and it's used to treat a wide variety of cancers, not just breast cancer. It is called Doxorubicin. I will never get it. I will never get it. You mentioned how you can't remember how to pronounce
Red
the
Devil,
words.
that's
I
fine.
can't pronounce it. So it's the Red Devil. I like that term a lot. Actually,
Medical terms are the worst things to pronounce, though.
So bad.
So awful.
it's a better medical term than the Durox. I can't. I'll never get it. I'll never get it.
Deroxycyclas something.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, I can't pronounce things,
AC.
but you mentioned your memory. So chemo fog, that's a real thing?
So yes, I just had an episode of it
There we
right
go.
there. I didn't believe it. Like I was like, no, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to lose my memory. I'm not going to like be in the middle of a sentence and not know what I'm saying. And I'm an attorney, right? So my job is talking. Like that's what I do. That's what I get paid to do. Like go into court, talk, and fight for people. So I started noticing in I think around October, maybe like the beginning of October, that when I was talking, I sounded like a robot and I was talking really slow. And sometimes I would be in the middle of a sentence and I had no idea where I was going or what I started saying or what I was trying to say next. And that's when I realized that chemo brain is real and that I can't work anymore. So I had to go on medical leave, basically for that reason, because I sounded like an idiot and I didn't know how I was going to go into court and actually like do my job properly. So I worked all through AC, the Red Devil, the one that makes you super nauseous, the one that like makes you sleep all day long, the one where like you can barely get out of bed. I somehow worked. I have no idea how I worked. None. No clue. Looking back on it now, I was like so sick all the time, and it's just mind-boggling that I somehow showed up to my job. And I think
There's your will again.
I think
You
I
can
did
just see
okay.
it.
Like nobody complained about probably because I was like the sad little chemo girl. Like no one's gonna complain.
Your past clients are probably like, geez, I can't believe we won that case with her having chemo brain. She's a really good lawyer.
Right? Or maybe the judges just felt so bad for me. They're like, whatever you want, Attorney Duncan, just go home and go to bed, please. You look terrible.
So was your job like cool with you taking that medical leave? Like they were supportive enough in your journey that they let you take all the time you needed?
Yeah, they were great. They were really great. No complaints. They just let me go.
Good.
It was I'm back to work full time now. I was definitely not cut out for not working. I mean, okay, yeah, fine. Who doesn't love sitting around, being lazy, watching TV, like not having to get out of your pajamas? But then all of a sudden, it's like, I think I'm having a mental breakdown. I need to be around adults. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be back at work full time. It's annoying now because when I was, either working from home, now I'm back fully in the office. But when I was working from home or not working at all, it was so easy. I could just get the boys from school. I could get them from their practices. And now it's like, I'm in Manchester. I have to be back in Brookline by 4:30, 5 o'clock. Like, this is impossible. I have to leave work early every single day. But it's fine. It's fine.
So we're in October, and we'll continue that journey in a moment. But let's go back to July when you were diagnosed, and let's talk about Justine and Nicole, because at one point they told us kind of how you shared the news with them, but then they really like jumped up and they're like, we're gonna do some things for you. Maybe they didn't know right away what they were gonna do, but then they decided on the 5K for Jaye. So take us back to when you told them and what your friendship was like from that moment on.
Yeah, I'd say that was definitely like a defining moment, right? In a friendship. I think I just remember texting them both separately and asking, like, do you prefer bad news over the phone or by text? And I think Nicole wanted a phone call and Justine said text was fine. I think I might have it backwards. They probably remember better than I do. So I that's kind of as much as I remember in terms of breaking the news. Like, I asked, like, how do you want to know something that's absolutely horrible? And then I delivered it. And I think by that time I had, well, I'd certainly told my husband and my kids. And I think I had told my parents, my siblings, and like my cousin that I'm really close to. So I think I've had like a lot of practice with getting it out. So I think it was probably kind of smooth, maybe. Yeah, the next thing I know, I think it was Justine. And I think she said, do you mind if Nicole and I put on a run for you? And I said, yeah, that's fine. Because in my head, I'm thinking that she wants like a runner group, like, you know, Crystal Buckley and Todd and like the group of people around.
And they're all going to take a photo. They're all going to wear pink. Yeah. They're all going to like donate that day to some charity or like a runathon.
Donation didn't even cross my mind. I just kind of thought she meant like, can we just have this run for you? Like this, like people are just going to run. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds lovely. Go for it. Like, I had no idea, And I don't even know if I would have agreed to it if I knew that, like,
maybe that's why they left those certain little details out.
Yeah, I think they probably saw right through me on that one. But yeah, I had no idea it was going to be like a gigantic race. I no matter what it looks like on Instagram, I do not like attention. Like Instagram attention is fine, whatever, because it's just my phone and it's not like really real all the time. But in-person attention, don't look at me, don't talk to me, like don't make a big deal out of me. I don't like it at all. So it's a very uncomfortable day for me. Meanwhile, I'm bald and I think I had lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes like that week. So I'm like, cool, I look like an alien now, just in time for this race. Yeah, I was not expecting. I was expecting a group of people running around like Manchester or something silly. I was not expecting a freaking 5K, like a legit race with a finish line.
Well, people did that. People actually who couldn't make the 5K, they did group. We have friends of ours who I don't even know if they're friends of yours, just they know of the story, the 440 crew. They did a pink run for you the week. A lot of people signed up virtually and they did their runs, and other people did something who couldn't make it. They still ran for you. So it still happened. But again, this 5K for Jaye was much bigger, I think, even for them than they imagined. At one point, Justine's like, I can't have 200 people walking in my house and using my toilet and having the pipes burst. I need porta potties. Like, it turned into such a big deal. You had Like Total Image jumped up and they donated some stuff. I think,
Oh,
the
huge.
arch,
Yeah.
maybe some timing and scoring. My dad came out of retirement and DJ'd. It's
Did.
been like over 20 years since he did that. You had all these organizations like Runner's Alley, and I'm gonna miss and forget a ton of them. You had bakeries and
Yeah.
stuff donate money or donate gift cards, donate gift baskets. Do you remember the size of that Hershey's chocolate bar?
That was my sister. So she donated that. I forget. And she might have been working. She's in food sales. She might have been working there.
My daughter won that in the raffle, and it's parts of it are still in the fridge. That's how big it was. Like, it's buried in the back because we don't want them to
Yeah.
see it. Does chocolate go bad
Oh
if
my
it's
god.
just 10 months later? Does it go bad? It's been almost a year.
No, I don't think chocolate goes
All right, I'm
bad.
allergic, so
It
I
would
don't know.
never last around me. I have zero willpower with sweets. That would not
Would you like
last
me to
in my
bring you
house.
like a big chunk? We're talking, this is still big.
Oh,
I can bring it for you.
Sure.
Yeah,
Send me a
you
chunk.
can give us the 1-year test. Is chocolate still good? But
Okay.
everybody stepped up. Do you remember how much money they raised?
Yeah, it was like 5 grand, I think. I mean, it was
$5,334 to be exact. We're talking New Hampshire, small community, just doing this on Instagram. I mean, we tried to get WMUR to say something, but maybe we asked too late. But just this small little community came together and raised 5 grand that
yeah,
really helped you and your family out.
yeah,
I have no clue how you use the money, and I don't care how you use it. You could have used it for groceries, you could have used it for bills. You don't need to use it for cancer stuff. People just wanted you to have something to help, and people wanted to be helpful.
so incredible. Yeah, it was such a huge help, especially I'd mentioned earlier that I went out on medical leave, and short-term disability was fine. I got that without a problem. And then after not working from December through April, I found out my long-term disability claim was denied. Yeah, that
Why?
was great.
Why would they do that?
Eric, it's such a long and confusing story. It had something to do with like the date that I'd started working with the company I was at and the date that I went out. I guess I missed it by like a week.
I just think that's corporate
And
America being awful.
oh, it was ridiculous. And then basically
Mm.
like the letter said something along the lines of, well, because you got a mammogram, you felt the lump and got a mammogram in September, we're treating this as a pre-existing condition. So, like, was I supposed to go out on long-term disability when I felt a lump that everybody told me was nothing?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
You would have denied it then because I didn't have cancer.
it's
Wow.
stupid.
So
Like the
it
same
was so dumb.
same thing happened with my wife. Not cancer, but pregnancy with twins. We get told we have to rush to Philadelphia to have surgery. And the insurance company says, "Oh, you shouldn't have to. You should just be able to walk out of the hospital." No, you have to be on bed
Oh,
rest for a
okay.
week. We had to go and spend money on a hotel, 20 total nights in a hotel, by the way. Like, and
Oh my gosh,
they're
in
like,
Philadelphia?
the hospital's like, you really need to stay overnight. And insurance is like, nope, no, you don't. And the doctor's like, yes, you do. And it's like the whole fight. Like, well, what do we
It's
do?
such a
This is going
scam.
to cost us 20 grand, or do we
Yeah.
chance it? Like, it's insane. It's
Hmm.
absolutely insane.
I just got an explanation of benefits yesterday that said it's denying a claim for $25,000. Like, cool. I don't have that. You're not getting that
Oh,
from me.
no.
It's got to be a mistake. It has got to be a mistake. It has got to have been denied for some weird reason, but I like couldn't even bring myself to deal with it today. I'm like,
It's
I'm not,
nuts. We still
I'm
get
not
bills.
calling.
It's insane. It's like, how is this not
But
taken care of,
weirdly,
the Elliott? Come on.
I never got a bill for chemo. Like you just keep waiting to go out to the mailbox and be like, oh, that's a big one. But I don't know. It's like I've been done for almost a year. Does anybody want money from me?
No,
Hopefully not. Yeah, it's what a scam, what a joke. But
it really is. And it's sad.
talk about that.
It's sad and awful, but That's why we do these things. That's why friends like Jaye and like Justine and Nicole step up. That's why they do it. And if it happened to, I'm sure any other friend, you would have done the same thing. And everyone steps up.
Oh, heck yes.
So
I hope I never have to, but going through it firsthand, I promise I will.
I just love this running community. It just goes to show you how close knit everybody really is. Like, I know we just met you, Jaye. Like, well, it's been a little while at this point, but like everybody is there for each other, and I would do it for everybody too. It's just you want to support where you can.
Well, how did running go? Because you kept running. You ran in your own race.
I did, and I beat my time goal. Not by much, but I beat it. So it was weird. When I found out I had cancer. I was only 2 days post-surgery, so I couldn't run. I was allowed to walk. And it was just, I was having this like bizarre feeling where I felt kind of like I was crawling out of my own skin. Because, you hear this news and you don't know what to do with it. And I have to tell people, I have to tell my family about it. I have to actually deal with it and go through the treatment and figure shit out. So I went for a walk. I went for a 4-mile walk. I hate walking. Well, I actually love it now, and sometimes prefer to do it over running. But at the time, I hated walking. I would never consider walking for exercise. Just, I don't know, it was boring. It like felt weird on my shins or whatever. But it was all I could do that day. It was all I could do. It was not cleared to run. I didn't feel like physically, I couldn't, like, I knew that like I wasn't healed enough. It would hurt. I probably couldn't even put a sports bra on if I wanted to. And then it kind of got into this weird feeling with me where I was a runner before cancer. I had done ultra marathons. I had done a half Ironman. I had done like,
we're going to have you back.
I'm not a triathlon fan. You don't want to.
Oh, the ultra marathon part.
All right, I'll talk to you about ultras. I can get on board with that. But then it was like, I don't know how to describe this really well. Like, running was a really big part of me. Like, a lot of my identity was tied to it. And then I got cancer, and I was really, really reluctant to let the two worlds meet, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense, but I didn't want my running, like, I didn't want to associate running with cancer because, I don't know, maybe I thought it would like ruin it for me or something. So for a while I didn't run, or I would be out on a walk and then I would just decide to run 10 steps. But then I started to really miss it. I started to feel physically okay to do it. As my memory really sucks. I don't think I ran much during AC. I think I ran a little, but I don't think I ran a ton. But I do know that when I started Taxol, I was definitely doing a lot more running. Not a ton. I mean,
you were feeling better. Like you weren't like stuck to your bed, basically. Yeah,
I did.
Get out and do more.
I felt really good. All things considered, I was still feeling like garbage. So I did pick it back up in like October, November. I do not like running in the winter, so I wasn't like really sad about not running in the winter. But in January, I had my first surgery, which was what we were hoping would be my last surgery. But I had a lumpectomy, which was, instead of removing the entire breast, you just remove the lump. but the surgeon couldn't there was still a good chunk of cancer left in there, even after 20 weeks of chemo. So I wound up just like going from that surgery almost, in retrospect, it was kind of a long period of time apart, but it felt like right into the mastectomy. So I kept up with my skiing then, but I think I ran a ton. I don't remember running a ton. Maybe in February I did. Maybe. But after my mastectomy, so it was 6 weeks. It was a 6-week healing process. Like, I felt like I could have ran maybe around week 3 or week 4. But I knew my plastic surgeon would absolutely kill me. Like, absolutely would destroy me. So I followed the rules and I waited until he cleared me to run. But then once I started running in May, everything just clicked. Like, I finally felt so good with running. Like, I just hadn't felt it the entire treatment process. Going through chemo, I just wasn't super interested. I was really interested in going for walks. I was walking almost every day. And I was really starting to enjoy it, but I don't know, running wasn't screaming out to me. And I don't know, you guys follow me on Instagram. I think you know by now. If it's not calling my name, I don't usually force it. I spent way too much time in my 30s, like forcing myself through marathons and other stuff that I like probably didn't want to, or maybe even physically shouldn't have at the time. So now if it's not like sparking joy, I don't force it. So I didn't really force it, but then come May, once I was cleared, I was like all in, which was perfect timing for me to start radiation on May 15th. I got cleared to run on May 5th. I'm pretty sure it was May 5th. And I ran like a little, I don't know, maybe a mile or two. And I did my walking intervals. I was certainly not in a position to just go out and run. And then I was just thinking, great, because everyone told me radiation is horrific and my skin is going to basically fall off and I'm going to be so tired. So I'm like, I don't even know why. Why am I running right now? In 10 days, I'm going to have to stop. And I just didn't. I felt awesome. Like the entire 25. Guys, my memory is so bad.
You're doing great.
It's that chemo brain we talked about. It's real.
It's not real. It's not real. Oh, yes, it is. We think I think it was 5.5 weeks. So I don't know. What would that be? Like 20 sessions. I think it was 20 sessions. Let's just call it 20. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
I ran every single one of them. And then I ran right after it. And towards the end, I was stuffing my bra so full of felt and lamb's wool that it was probably comical to anybody that could see me. It was just like coming out the sides. But I never had to stop.
But you just do whatever makes you comfortable.
Right.
I wouldn't care.
You're kind of like,
you do what you got to do.
Absolutely. And it worked. I was fully prepared, and I just kept, if you like take a peek at any of my posts during radiations, like every single one of them was like, this is my last run. I'm going to have to stop tomorrow. I know I'm going to have to stop. And then the next day, the nurse would look at it and she's like, you look great. I don't know why you think you need to stop. And I'm like, I don't know. Everybody else that had radiation said they had to stop and they couldn't put a bra on, and it just never happened to me. It just
What month was this?
Happened. I started radiation on May 15th.
Okay.
And I finished on June 15th.
Do you remember what you did on June 8th?
I ran the Hollis Fast 5K, and I did it real quick.
Real fast. You beat me. I think you beat me.
No, you crushed me.
I don't remember how I did, but
I think I was around 26 minutes in Hollis.
That's great.
So yeah, normally in Hollis, I'm around like 22 or 23. So it's been a little bit hard. it's been hard to suddenly be like celebrating a 10-minute pace, which is great. And I don't mean that in like a disparaging way towards anyone, but I was like a low 8s, high 7s runner and racer. So now it's just a weird feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird to finish a run and be like, I did that under 10 minutes. It's humbling. It's humbling. It's like starting from scratch. And
I don't remember if it was you or somebody else, but weren't you talking about like post chemo PRs running wise? You had like you were going off of, you weren't judging yourself from your past before chemo. You were
yeah.
tracking yourself post chemo.
Now that sounds like an Ange thing.
Oh,
I was thinking
must
that.
have been an Ange thing.
Yeah, because she's constantly preaching that to me when I'm like, I am the worst runner in the world. I'm going to quit tomorrow. And she always has to remind me that like you're just, it's different. It's different now. Like my heart, like things you don't think about, but chemo and radiation like mess with your heart. I thankfully didn't have any like major issues, but some people have to stop chemo, have to stop treatment because their heart's getting the brunt of it. So, but like, whether I got it bad or whether it was, manageable, it's still my heart rate. If you look at it now on my watch, it's different than what it used to be. Like my effort, what's a hard effort for me now used to be like easy stuff. So Ange is always reminding me to stop, don't do the comparison thing. But yeah, so now I'm starting to kind of relish the post chemo or the post cancer PRs, but
you got to give yourself some grace. Your body's been through hell and back. And so if you don't do it, we're going to do it for you. You're doing amazing.
You really are.
It's, thank you guys. There are days like yesterday, for example, I didn't have a lot of time, and I already told you I'm not getting up early. There's nothing you could say. There's nothing you can do.
Sorry, Nicole.
I don't want anything. I'm not. There's no goal race or goal pace that I want bad enough to get out of bed earlier than I have to. I like my sleep. I'll figure it out later.
So you're saying you're never going to do the Dopey Challenge?
I've already done the Dopey Challenge, so check that off.
Like I said,
never doing it
we
again.
need to have you back.
Yeah. So pre-Instagram, I was really deep into racing. If you pay attention to me now, I don't enjoy racing. I just don't. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. And I think that part of that is because my pace isn't like puke inducing anymore. Now it's just like, I'm kind of just doing it now. And I think that the immense pressure that I used to put on myself being completely gone, because I can't. It's not reasonable for me to think that I'm going to run a 22-minute 5K anytime in the near future. I'm not going to PR any marathons anytime soon. Like it's just not happening. I can feel it in my body, and I respect it. It is what it is. Doesn't make me happy, no. But yesterday I had like no time at all. So I took Jamie he had a flag football game, and he had to be there an hour early for practice. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to do as much as I can in this hour, and I'm going to be happy with it. And I'm going to, it's not what I wanted. It's not what my training plan says for the day, but we went down to the BC game on Saturday. We left early. Sunday was the day that I was going to do my run. So I got in 5 miles and I was really happy with it. And they clicked. It was like the best 5-mile run I've had in like forever. But then I finished and I was like, if I don't do 8 miles today, I don't feel like I'm going to do this half marathon. I feel like it's just going to be, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be ready in time. So I did 3 more like later on. I'm like, I would never do this in the past. Like, this isn't me. Cause I'd be like, that's not a long run. Like that's two separate runs. Like you're not doing your training plan. You didn't do 8 miles. But I did what I could do yesterday, and I just kept like walking around the house, annoying my poor husband, who's a freaking saint. And I was just like, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself. I did this 8 miles. And he's just like, please stop. We get it. You did 8 miles. But yeah, it's a whole different perspective. It's strange.
Good for you, Jaye. So that kind of teases us a little bit. We were wondering what you have coming up on your schedule, and you just teased that you've got a half. So you wanna clue us in?
No, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So I still have one more surgery that
I was going to ask, where are we today with your everything? I don't know if we call it recovery yet, or where are we today?
Yeah. So we're almost done. There's some maintenance stuff that I have to do every 3 months and every 6 months, and I'll have to do that for the next 2 to 5 years, depending on the particular drug. But for the most part, I'm just popping my pills in the morning and at night, and then occasionally going down to Dana-Farber and getting some infusions. But for the most part, I'm just kind of on cruise control. But I'm not done with surgeries. So I have what's called tissue expanders in. So after my mastectomy, I hate talking about medical stuff because I don't understand it. But from my understanding, when they take all the tissues out of your breast, like the skin will like shrivel up, like close in.
Oh,
to put the implants in, they have to put these tissue expanders in, which like stretch the skin out. So then they can just take the expander out, pop an implant in, sew me up, call it a day. So I still have these expanders in. They're awful. They're so awful. You guys watch Family Guy?
I used to watch it all the time.
So you know what Stewie Griffin's head looks like?
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh no.
That's what my boobs look like. They are they're the shape of Stewie Griffin's head. It's
Jaye.
not attractive. Thankfully, I never pursued a career in stripping because that would have been gone.
There are weird people out there, Jaye. There's some weird people who might be into Stewie Griffin boobs.
I've actually thought about a mastectomy OnlyFans, but I think about it, and then I think about how much effort that would probably be, and like I don't know.
You would be constant memes of Stewie Griffin going, "Mom, mom, mom, mommy, mommy,
Lois.
mommy, Lois." Hi.
Oh my God, I'm never going to be able to look at myself in the mirror naked again.
Oh no.
Stewie, stop looking at me. Do you have any dogs? Is the dog's name Brian?
No, it's Tucker, unfortunately.
Tucker's a great name for a dog, but I'm just thinking of Brian, who has a crush on Lois.
Yes. Yep. Well, Tucker does follow me around constantly. I'm surprised he hasn't barged in. So anyway, recovering from that, they're awful and they're uncomfortable, and I cannot wait to get them out of my body. They're sewn into my chest muscles, and I have somehow managed to dislodge 2 of them on the right side. There's 8, I think. So if I'm just wearing like, my kid's hoodie right now because I'm very stylish. But if I wear a low shirt or just a sports bra or my bathing suit all summer, you can see the plastic coming out.
Oh no.
Very gross. And I'm very much looking forward to getting rid of them. But that puts me in this weird conundrum of what am I doing this fall? So
makes sense.
I have an appointment with my plastic surgeon on October 2nd. I think my surgery is supposed to be in December. When I was in last time, he said November. And I don't want to correct him. If he thinks my body is ready for November, I am jumping on November because I need these things out of me. They're so awful. So right now I'm training for the Philly half.
That's right.
But I might do Bay State, the Bay State half, if he gives me a November date that would make me have to stop running. So if he gives me before November 19th, I've already decided that, even though I've been training, I'm not passing up the surgery.
Mhm.
I'm not pushing it off. But I don't want
Good
to
for you.
mess up ski season either. So,
Right.
Right.
I'm with you on skiing. I'm totally there with you. I watched your Instagram and stories last year, and I'm like, I have no clue because I don't talk to you every day. I just see you on Instagram. So you just look like you're always having a great time. So I didn't know like what stage you are in your therapy or your recovery or your just all of it. I don't know, but you were skiing so much, and you're right. Ski season, if we get a lot of snow, like you want to go out, you don't want to miss it. So I'm totally there with you. Totally there.
I'm just not willing. Yeah. I want to say I was skiing within a week of my lumpectomy. So I had my lumpectomy like January 15th or so. And I want to say I think I had it on a Friday, and I think I skied the following Sunday, like not 2 days later, but like the following Sunday.
Where do you like to ski?
So my mountain of choice is Mount Snow.
Yeah.
Is hands down my favorite mountain. I love it. Last year we'd had epic passes for a while. But last year we decided we wanted to switch things up, and we went with Loon, which
you regret now?
No, I don't regret it. I loved Loon. I loved it. But we decided not to go.
Loon is great, but it's overcrowded and extremely expensive.
Yes. Yes, I will 100% agree with you on that.
But the skiing is great.
The skiing is great. It is very overcrowded. They did just open up, or they're going to this season, I should say, another mountain over on the South Peak, I think it was. And it's mostly greens and blues. So in my head, I'm thinking all of these people that are on like Blue Ox and like that area of the mountain that they have no business being on, like maybe they'll all go over there and it won't be so bad. Maybe.
So you're a good skier.
I don't know.
No, you're a good skier. You're like all these people, they can go over there to the beginner trails. I want to ski this hard, challenging shit. And I think
No, at Loon, I can barely do the black diamonds at Loon. I find Loon to be a pretty challenging mountain. I can handle the blues, but even some of the blues there are tough for me. But my kids are really good, and they're like, Jamie did Ripsaw last year, the double black diamond, and I wouldn't even go on that side of the mountain. I was like, no, you can take him. I made my husband take him. I stayed as far away from it as possible because if something went wrong, I didn't want anything to do with it. But yeah, they're really good. I'm like a cautious mom skier. Like a little old lady mom skier.
You would like Ragged Mountain. You would really like Ragged Mountain. It's an awesome family mountain. That's where I take
Just
my
being
daughter every
safe.
weekend. Season pass is like a great deal. And then you get other deals at other mountains. You would like Ragged for the kind of skiing you're telling me you're into. So if you ever want to go check it out, let me know. I'll take you. Karen and I will take you. Karen comes with me too.
Absolutely. That's one of the only mountains in New Hampshire that I think we haven't hit yet. So I'll put it on the list. But we went back to Epic this year. We love Loon, and I'm sure we'll go this year, but the overcrowding got to be a lot, and we just kept skiing the same trails over and over again, and it just got boring. So we went back to Epic, and we'll bop around to a bunch of different places. Jamie ski races, so all of his practices are at Crotchet. And we didn't have season passes to Crotchet last year, like the Epic Pass. So I had to pay every single time he had practice. Oh my God, it was so expensive.
Nothing is cheap these days. Nothing is cheap. Absolutely not.
It's crazy.
Let's okay. I did a little bit of digging. I went to get some dirt. I didn't get much. They didn't give me a lot, but I learned something. You and I have something in common.
All right.
It's called gamophobia. Do you know what gamophobia is?
Yeah, it's the fear of commitment, right?
Yeah, your friends say, ask her about signing up for races ahead of time.
No, I'll do it the day of. Thank you very much.
I did the same for the Hollis Fast 5K. I think I signed up 3 hours before.
If it's like very local, like Hollis, I signed up ahead of time because, I mean, it's 15 minutes from my house. It was at night. I didn't have to wake up early for it. I think that's part of my gamophobia is what's the fear of waking up early to go to a race?
Yeah.
Because I think that's what I have. I think that's what my actual
Whatever
fear
that is, I got that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and maybe it's because I'm kind of cheap too. So I don't jump all over the prices are increasing on September 1st. Because from my perspective, I have no idea what the heck is going to happen between September 1st and November 19th. And I would rather pay a little bit more and actually show up to the race than be out like these outrageous $200 race fees because something happens, like I get injured or I have a firm rule that I will not be missing my boys' sporting events to go to a race. It's just, it will never happen. It will absolutely never happen. There is no race that is cool enough or exciting enough or I don't even know. I can't think of another adjective, but like
no, and you have all the time in the world to go do other races.
Good for you.
Yep, I've got
unless your kid is like
4 years left with them here. So
yeah,
for real.
it's the kids' sports are going to end at some point, so you'll have all the time later to do it. But as of right now, it's like no, you want to go see them play because you don't know how much longer they're going to get to play sports before they have to go and get a job too, just like the rest of us. So enjoy it, enjoy that time, especially with your kids, and good luck to them when they're what they want to do with football, and hopefully play some college ball, maybe go to a good school because of it, maybe get some money off. You never know. Yeah. Keep advocating for your kids too. And I know I mentioned maybe an extra year of school. I know that kind of sucks, but I told Erica, what I told her is a lot of hockey players take a year off of school and just play hockey and grow, or they go to do a fifth year of high school at a prep school is what they actually do. So, but we've been going for a long time. Let's get to our two big questions. I think you're familiar with what we do. So
I am.
I go creeping, and I do a lot of creeping sometimes. I try to find something that on your Instagram, and it's usually never running related. So I'm going to try to share my screen here, and I want to know what the story is here with you and your husband, and it looks like you're at a Halloween party.
Yeah, so we like pre-COVID, oh my god, look at my hair and look at how like thin and pretty I was. Damn, I need to go back in time. My husband looks ridiculous.
This is 252 weeks ago.
Yeah, geez, what's 252 weeks?
2018.
That's a lot. Okay, yep. So pre-COVID. We used to, oh my God, we were babies. We used to have neighborhood parties. My husband and I would host them once a year. And they were like theme parties. This was our athleisure theme. So as you can potentially tell, I was wearing a velour jumpsuit. I had a necklace on that you can't see in the picture, but it was like one of those gigantic necklaces and it said like baby girl or something ridiculous. So maybe you could see that one. Yeah. I had massive hoop earrings on. I think I was going for like a J-Lo vibe. Those are my neighbors. They were in their athletes.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, he really, that's my friend Paul. He went all in on that outfit. My husband was in his Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's right. He did that. He was dressing up like that in his press conferences.
Yeah, that's how he did his press conferences.
And he played for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and you're diehard Tampa fans. Oh, it all makes sense.
fans. Yeah. So that is, I can't stop looking at Paul in those American flag shorts. Oh, goodness. Yeah. It
I'm getting a
wasn't
lot
like
of
a
80s
specific
vibes from that
80s
too,
theme.
though.
I
That
think the
looks really
theme was
fun.
just athleisure, like athletic wear. But we've done, we did prom. We did like a prom theme. We've done denim and diamonds, which I really liked
wow.
that one. So like you'd wear like a sequin shirt and just like old jeans. I don't know, Google
How do you
the
come up with
internet.
these ideas for your themes?
Google.com.
Yeah, Google.com helps
That's
me
fair.
with everything.
Love it.
I found a good one. I did it good again.
You
No free
did.
ads.
That was really
Just
good. That was a good one.
He's always really good
All
at
right.
that. But now my last curveball here. So you know about our Spotify playlist, and we love to have our guests add whatever song they're jamming to at the moment, whether it's anything inspirational or, I mean, it could just be something that just brightens your
song that
day.
I
So
want to
what song
add
would you like
is
to add, Jay?
called All These Things that I've Done. It's by The Killers. So I
Yes, I know that one.
if you look on my page, it's like my I finished cancer reel. I use that as my song. I was driving to radiation, which to me was the scariest part of treatment. Like because I thought I could mess up radiation because you have to hold your breath when they're doing it. And I definitely thought like, I'm going to move or I'm going to breathe and my heart's going to blow up. Like in my brain, this is really what I thought. Like they're shooting this radiation at me and my heart's going to like pop because I'm going to laugh or I'm going to turn my head or I'm going to do something stupid. So whatever. I was petrified of radiation. And this song came on the radio and it was The Killers and I was listening to it. And next thing I know, I'm like full sob and I'm not a crier. I'm not a crier at all. And I'm like driving to radiation. I'm like crying so bad. And then it became like my mantra song. So I listened to it every day on the way to radiation. I finally was able to stop sobbing after like a week of listening to it once a day. And it's not really like a sad song. It's not sad at all. But I listened to it every day. And then it became my like all of these things that I've done and like just thinking through the, checklist of cancer that I had gone through all the steps of treatment. I'd put it onto my race playlist so it would time like as I was getting close to the finish line of like the last couple of races I did. So it just became my jam. It's not like the best song in the world either. It's not like a great. It picks up. It's got
a
some
good
good beats.
one.
Like you really can go at some parts of the song. I don't know if it would typically be considered like a good running song, but I adopted it. It is now my tune.
That's okay.
I go with it.
Excellent.
No, that's a great song. The Killers are awesome. Absolutely love the Killers.
Yeah.
So good addition. I got to ask you one other thing because
Okay.
you're a lawyer and you're a damn good one. And if I ever need one, I know who I'm calling. But we need to talk.
Please don't ever need me.
I won't never. I'll never need you. All right. I'll just need you to go skiing and on a run sometimes, and we'll sign up the day of the race, or we'll decide to go skiing that day, or maybe the night before when it's dumping snow. But
perfect.
I don't know. There's some cases that are on TV, and everyone's following them, and everyone's into it. And most recently, the one I can remember is the case of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Oh yeah, that was.
Were you paying attention to that? And I've seen your post before. What were you thinking about? I mean, all I remember is Amber Heard's lawyers just seemed like awful. I don't want to say that. Maybe you know them, but
no, I don't know them.
And they didn't seem that great. And then everyone was going insane over Johnny Depp's lawyers and how funny they were or how attractive she was or how there was all these memes and TikToks about like them just giving looks to each other. And it was just like, it was an entertaining case to watch. And I imagine as a lawyer, you're probably like popcorn emoji, like this is good.
It was. I don't do any sort of like civil law. I only do criminal law. So a lot of it just goes over my head. Like I don't understand why they're saying things, why they're doing things, but what a train wreck. That was something.
My favorite was the jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar. I love that one. That was just the content coming. It must have been millions and millions and millions of dollars of content that was being.
Can't even imagine how much. Like the text messages that he was like sending his friends or whatever. Oh, it was such a disaster.
It was great. It was
Oh, it was
awesome.
fun.
Jaye, I don't even know. We've gone all over the place, kind of, and we've been like, I don't even know if we finished the whole story, but we've been going for an hour and 43 minutes. Like,
yeah, is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
I think so.
Do you feel like you covered your whole
chemo,
journey?
surgery, more surgery, radiation, one more surgery coming up. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think like one of the biggest takeaways, one of the reasons that I was so vocal on my Instagram about my breast cancer diagnosis is one, don't ever let anyone tell you you're too young. I was 41 when I was, I was
that chemo
41 when I
brain.
was diagnosed.
You were 31.
I know,
You were
it's
31.
so
31.
I wish I could turn back the hands of time that much. It's never, don't listen to that nonsense about being too young. And so many doctors tell that to people, and it's just, I have a group of women in my Instagram DMs in my we call ourselves the warrior women, and we will all beg to differ with you. There's no age discrimination. So when something feels wrong, advocate. And that's, I can't say that enough, but it was always really important to me to just tell my story because, I mean, if a marathon runner, a young marathon runner is getting like aggressive cancer, it doesn't discriminate. And I wanted everyone to make sure they're paying attention.
You know, that's great. And I'll end with this because if people who have listened to this for a while, they know I used to work in NASCAR and I have a lot of friends in NASCAR. There's this one woman, her name is Sherry Pollox. And yesterday she lost her battle after 9 years of battling cancer. It wasn't breast cancer. And I'm not going to be the one to tell you what kind it was, but it was a 9-year battle. And she was a long-time girlfriend of a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to a little podcast today about her because she passed yesterday. And it was her talking about cancer. And she said the same thing you just said, that cancer does not discriminate. You can be sitting there getting chemo, and there can be a 92-year-old woman here and a 19-year-old boy here on your left side, and it doesn't discriminate about age or who you are or anything about you. So that is well said, and it's ironic that I heard it twice now in the last 2 hours. Spot on. But thank you for accepting us last year and letting us be a part of your journey and helping Nicole and Justine with the 5K for Jaye and just kind of accepting us and we were doing our thing. And then for coming on now and sharing your story, you were a big part of our whole journey in the past year and a half. And last year we're figuring things out and we didn't even know if we could like jump into that area. We just wanted to hear from someone like you who's absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you guys. And I know I said it last year, but it meant so much to me that you guys were at the race and so helpful and just promoting things. And it was so touching. It was like incredibly touching. And I don't know how to say thank you enough. So thank you.
Thank you, Jaye, so much for being the amazing human that you are. We are so proud of you. We love you very much.
We really are. Thank you for coming on the pod, Jaye. I know I wanted to ask, it was weird and hard last year to talk to you because I didn't know what to say when we met you. And I met you with like 200 other people who met you at the same time. And I didn't want to be like, hey, come on the pod, and everything. So I was just like, hi, nice to meet you. How's everything going? And I just knew in my head, I'm like, I knew you had a big year ahead of you. You had a lot of things going on. So I'm like, well, we'll see how things go. And I was positive. I knew they'd go well. And I'm really happy you came on the podcast and shared your story. You know what? So Nicole, we're doing this outro, the tros, as we call them right now. And you actually haven't heard the interview yet because the podcast,
No.
right? We're doing
And I
this
was
before.
actually just thinking, like, she doesn't like her hair. So I don't know if she talks about it in the interview, but I love her hair the way it is. It's so cute. Justine and I were running the other day, and we were taught, actually, it was a big topic of conversation was Jaye's hair, because we're just like, it's the cutest thing. She looks like Annie. And she's just like, and if we comment on her story, she's like, shut up, it looks terrible. And I'm like, it looks so cute.
I know what I'm making on my next post comment when I see her hair. But what I was getting at was, I can't believe how long it took to diagnose her. Like,
Yes.
this all started 2 years ago now, a full year
Yep.
before that 5K for Jaye. She was diagnosed in June or July, I think just after
Yep.
the 4th of July. But she
Yep.
like first felt that lump 10 months
Mhm.
before she was diagnosed. And it wasn't a little lump, as we learned. So, Jaye, you're amazing. You're
Yes.
doing awesome. I think the 5K for Jaye has to come back.
Yep. I agree.
You could even just continue to call it the 5K for Jaye, but fine,
I'm going
that's
to.
your race. It's your baby. That was a lot of work you two put in. So also kudos to the two of you, because
Thank you.
that was, as Erica learned last spring, it's a lot of work to put on
Yes, it is.
a little race. So kudos to you two. Well, again, thank you for doing that. Thank you, Jaye, for coming on. We're going to have a few more women on this month. We're also going to do a best of episode of last year with Jackie, Nikki, and Angela. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. We'll be putting things out on YouTube, some longer clips. Patreon. We are also, we talk about it, Twitter and TikTok. We never jump on, but go ahead, check those out. Follow, shoot us a DM if you like what you see, or if you have something in mind somewhere for us to donate for Breast Cancer Month, or if you have someone you think would be a great guest for any time. And we would really appreciate that. So, but let's get to the outro, Nicole. Let's talk more about you and about things going on. And so I got a question. I
Oh
saw
boy.
you got some professional photos taken of you recently.
I did. It was so much fun.
It looked a little dangerous.
I mean, it's risks. I mean, it was fun. No, it was because, all it did this summer was freaking rain.
Right.
So, I mean, what else are you going to do? Yeah, Dave Bellevue, who is Run Paco on Instagram, took the photos for me. And I had Jackson that night. And so Jackson got to have his photos taken professionally also. And he even got to take some of my pictures, which were some of my favorite pictures.
That's kind
So
of
he
cool.
was like, Dave was lying down on the track, and Jackson wanted to lay next to him and watch what he was doing. And Dave even let him push the button. So Jackson can now add professional photography to his resume.
Dave's a good guy. I've met Dave a couple
He's
times.
amazing.
Great guy.
He's
Easy to
a
talk
lot of
to.
fun.
Yeah. Great
Yep.
guy. Good photos.
Yep.
Like, he even makes me
He
look
takes
good.
amazing.
Why did you want to take those photos? What got, like, you've done this a few times recently. You had some headshots taken. Now you got the running ones. Is this is this part of your run coaching journey you're on, or?
Yep. Yeah. So I'm in the middle. Well, I'm almost done with a website. So I wanted some professional photos taken for the website. So I had asked Dave if he could do that. And yeah, so I wanted some taken on the stairs just because I thought it would look cool. And they were very, very slippery. So even in some of the pictures, you can see my face like, ooh.
Yeah.
And Jackson's just on the other side running up and down. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to fall. And I'm trying to focus on it. And going down was much harder than going up. So,
Yeah,
but they came out amazing.
they
He
really
did such a
did.
good job. And the joke between Dave and I is that he always takes photos of my backside,
I
so of
see
my
that.
ass.
Yeah.
And so like we got some good shots of that too. So
I saw
but he
that.
did an amazing job. He truly did. He captured exactly what I wanted. They're fun, but there's some that are, just really running focused, where I look like I'm, zoned in. I really love the ones of Jackson and I, kind of like a mom and son photos. He really captured it all. So I was very, very, very happy with them.
Yeah, and when I was talking to him, he's really like taking this hobby up to the next level. He's going to sporting
Yes.
events at like Goffstown and taking photos. He's going to other
Mhm.
races and taking photos. I've seen him do it for all the running companies around the area. I don't know if they're hiring him or if he's just doing it for the love of it. Whichever one it is, I don't
don't know.
care. He takes amazing photos, worth every penny if he's charging you. And it makes you look great. So keep doing it,
Absolutely.
Dave. Keep doing it, man. I love, you can follow
Right.
his Instagram too. You said it earlier, was Run
Yep.
Paco. If he's
Yep.
at something like Reach the Beach, he's posting all about it. So it's like great
Yes.
content. It really is. So
Absolutely.
how old is Jack? Is he 4 or 5?
He's 4. He just turned 4 in June.
Okay, he just turned 4, because my boys will be 3 in February, and I'm kind of not comparing, but like they're just finally like really like figuring out brushing your teeth.
Mm.
And we're just starting the whole potty training thing with them, and it's a lot of work, especially with twins, by the way.
Yeah.
But I hope Jackson's got it, because that would just give me some like good faith that it's going to be the next year and a half for the
He's
boys.
set to go. He does everything on his own. The only thing is like we're still working on the whole wiping aspect, but he's good on his own. He brushes his teeth. I mean, we help him obviously, like he can't do it completely by himself. But he just went to the dentist a few days ago and he was good. So, yeah, we just started the flossing. So
Yeah.
we use the little picks. Just and the dentist really said it wasn't necessarily because they're worried about anything. It's more just the habit of it.
Yeah, no, so
But yeah,
true.
yeah. So he brushes his teeth and he was potty trained very quickly. When we put him in school, we put him in the potty training room and that helped tremendously. So it was more just like he still asks. I'm like, you don't have to ask me to go to the bathroom. You can just go.
Yeah. My daughter
So,
was very quick to learn everything and figure everything out. And
yeah.
she was our only child at the time, so we had a ton of time and attention
Mhm.
to give her. She is growing up so fast, like she really
Yeah.
is. And it's
Yeah.
funny, we might start hockey soon. She actually might do a little learn to play
Really?
camp. It was her call. She was interested. We'll know in November. We'll actually know before November, but the learn to play, it's 4 days in November, 4 Sundays. And
Right.
I'll tell you this, Nicole, if you thought triathlon was expensive,
Yeah, hockey is not cheap.
yeah.
I was looking at the skates. I went to Monkey Sports because I was getting him new skates and they fit him. They do a great job
Yeah.
there. They're wonderful. They scanned his foot. The kid sat with him and it was like a teenage kid and he was great. And I was looking at these skates and he's like, "Which ones do you want?" I'm like, "The cheapest ones you have." And he was like, "Oh, these are like the best ones we have and they're $60." And I was like, "That's perfect." He was like, "You're not spending anything like what you see on the shelves and for like years." I'm like, "Perfect. I'll start saving now," because the skates were like $600.
It's insane how much
Yeah.
everything has gone up. Even
Yeah.
running
And
shoes.
oh my God. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been trying to get mine at the outlets, at least in the Merrimack outlets, but like I need some speed shoes for when I mean, after the marathon, I want to start, chipping away at my 5K time. And I'm like, I'm going to need some racing shoes. So, but they're just, I mean, racing shoes, like a good pair, 250, if not 300. It's wild.
Do you ever follow Believe in the Run?
No.
They do the shoe reviews. There's this new shoe from Adidas. It's $500.
Does it run for you?
Right? And the other thing is, it's white. It's a white sneaker, and I'm like, that thing would get so dirty on the first run, and
Yeah.
I'd feel like I just wasted $500.
Is there carbon in it? Is there carbon plates in them?
I don't know. Is that legal or illegal? It's the $500 marathon shoe. This is what gets me. It's white. It's going to get dirty. I guess it's a race day shoe, and you'll wear it once or twice. And yeah, they say you'll set PRs in it. But I'm like,
But you need to be training in the shoe you're wearing. So
right.
why would you wear them once or twice?
You got it. I'm going
I'd
to
get
send you this.
blistered.
I'm going to send you this article. I mean, would I wear it? I don't even know if I'd wear it if it was free, because I'd be afraid of ruining it. That's how I feel. I
Yeah.
would get it dirty, and I feel like I don't. But yeah, it's supposedly it will set
The pair
records.
of shoes I just bought are white, and I'm like like they've stayed white, but because Greater Manchester Running Club ends up running at Livingston, I do my warm up on the trail over there.
Yeah.
And the other day I like stepped in mud and I literally washed it in the water. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't
That's what
want
I
this
would
big
do.
dirty thing on my shoe. But because I buy mine at the Merrimack outlets, I'm very limited on the
I I
colors.
I buy my shoes at the same place, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been running in Sauconys, which I actually really enjoy.
This shoe is called the Adidas Adios Pro Evo 1. Evo, EVO. Yeah, I would
Evo.
get it dirty. But it's It's a big shoe. It's very white. It's very white. I would feel bad.
Probably very bright.
It's not that bright. It's white with just the Adidas stripes down the side. So the Adios Pro Evo 1, yeah, not for me just because I'm afraid I would ruin it. So, but if
I don't want to wear a shoe twice and pay $500 for it either.
right?
So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, silly.
So let's talk about how you're going to pay for shoes in hockey and everything else in triathlon. You're going to have to pay for it you're going to have to get a second job, and you got a new job. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
We don't need
Yes, I did. I did get a new job. I'm actually really happy about it. So I actually now work for the Department of Transportation.
Oh, can you go check why I keep getting Easy Pass bills when I have an Easy Pass?
Is your transponder in your car?
Yeah, and I just got a brand new one too because they're like, oh, the battery died on it. And I don't know. I keep getting a bill, and they're charging me an extra $1.
I don't do that part of DOT.
You're gonna have to go find someone. Go find someone for me. Anyways,
Will do.
You do have a second job.
I do.
As we've learned before, you're a run coach, and you have athletes, and you train these people. We've met a couple, and we know a couple who you've trained. So Ron and Lena in the past. Any new athletes you have?
I have you.
That's right. I am a new athlete. You are my first ever run coach. I took the test the other day. So we're starting on October 1st. I don't even know if I'm running.
Did you fill out the form? Did you fill out your form?
I submitted the form. I liked it. I think I gave you some good answers. I did that the other day for you. And coach, I don't know, but I just went for a run the other day. It felt great. The weather was nice. Good. I ran 7.5 miles, 7.6 actually, just like that. And I was like, wow. The day before I could barely run a mile. I don't know. It was probably water, hydration, food, but coach, I'm excited. Do I call you coach now? What do I call you?
Call me Nicole.
Coach Nicole.
I am very excited for you. I am very excited for our plan and what we're going to do. So actually, that's now my third job. I actually got another part-time job.
Okay.
I have like a legitimate part-time job now.
Legit. All right.
Yes.
You are a
I mean, it's legit. I'm an actual running coach. Before we all say like it's not legit, it is legit. It's a lot of work. But I have another part-time job that I work every other weekend and every Monday night.
Oh, very cool. Do you care to share?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a part-time receptionist job, and I just it's easy. It's not brain science. It's not brain surgery. I actually really like it. It's at a nursing home. So it's right down the street from my house, and it just works out. It worked out really well. It's really just to offset some expenses and get some more money so I can do a little bit more with things that I want to do. So pay off some student loans and, hopefully at some point buy a house. So just all of the stuff. So it really does work out really well for what I'm looking for.
You're doing the right thing, because when you got spare time instead of sitting on your ass, go make some money. That's what I do with hockey.
And what's nice is I can do other things while I'm there because it's really not super busy and I just answer a phone. So it's less stress for me because my current job is going to keep me very, very busy. And then I can do my coaching stuff on that when I'm there. Yeah. So it actually is very nice. It's very structured for me to do like your plan and everything like that when I'm there and look at all your data. So
we're going to start, and we've been talking about this honestly since the Hollis Fast 5K. I was like, if I ever hire a running coach, it's going to be you. And I stuck to my word. And we talked about some fall races, but I didn't know schedules. I didn't know time. And I just said, I told you about a week ago, we just need to start. We don't need a race. We just need to start. Nope. And you asked me what my goal was. And so I'm going to tell you what my goal is. And we'll find a race for 2024 soon. Okay. But my goal was, the best I ever felt as a runner was before COVID, when I could just sign up for a half marathon the night before the race or the morning of the race after eating a pizza and drinking beer, and set a PR because I was training for a bigger goal at the time. It was the Ironman. And I was just like, I always wanted to be in half Ironman shape, not half Ironman shape, but half marathon shape. Just go on any weekend. And, hey, everyone's doing this half, this race. There's a half marathon. Boom, I'm in. That's where I want to be.
You know what? You know why you have to do that? Because you don't commit.
Yeah,
You have
gamophobia.
gamophobia.
Yeah. But I set a hard goal to this half marathon shape. I could run a half marathon today at like 2:10, right?
Yeah.
No problem. I would go easy, but I want to be at sub 150 half marathon shape. So that's what we're going for without a race in mind.
Love it. Let's do it.
We're going to build to it because my PR is like the 146 area. So if I'm always in that sub 150, we can get it. We can get it.
We can get you to like a 145.
I don't know if I'll ever be in BQ shape, not shape, but like speed. But like we can get into some good stuff there. It's hard for the guys.
Absolutely.
A lot of people too. I feel really bad for our friend Jenny because she just worked so hard to get her BQ, but the buffer was huge. It was
The buffer was like 5 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
31 seconds, 5:31.
31 seconds.
So she missed it because she only had a 1 minute and 50-second buffer.
Yeah.
So Jenny's going to get it, though. She's still determined to get it and even improve on her time by 7-8 minutes. Your friend just qualified. Your friend Samantha?
I am so excited. Sammy's going to Boston. I'm so excited. So she's actually running Chicago, and then she's going to come do Philly with me. So she's coming to Philly with me and Justine. And then I think Jay's still going to go. And then then she's going to go do Boston. So I think I'm definitely going to go down probably with her mom and just go and cheer her on and spend the day down there. And she's so excited. She texted me this morning. It was like, I got into Boston.
Yeah.
And she had a 16-minute buffer. Like that, there was no way she wasn't getting in.
She's fast.
So she's wicked fast. She is a very fast runner, but her biggest thing, and I am so like excited to learn more about this, is mindfulness. So she's very big on meditation and like clearing your mind. And so she's actually able to do that when she runs. And I am envious of it. We just did an 18-miler this past weekend. And like a lot of our training runs have been together because we have the same running coach and all of our runs kind of align together. And so it's been really great for us to just spend the time together and just be able to run together. And she just has these great meditative, mantras of, like imagine a weight on top of your head and then like move the energy around, and whatever you're thinking or feeling, move the energy into something on your body. So that way, when you're running, you're using it, whether it's your arm or your leg or your foot. And it really worked for me. I tried it and I was like, this is great. And I tried it on my track workout yesterday, and she's able to meditate and really relax her body when she runs. And I think that relaxing makes her faster because she's not thinking, how fast am I going? What do I have to do? Do I need to speed up? Do I need to slow down? How's my breathing? Does my stomach hurt? Is that cramp really there? Does my leg really hurt that bad? Like she can just clear her mind out and run. I'm like, it is a wonderful skill to have. But she's very big in the whole meditative. She meditates all the time. If you check out her Instagram, she has a lot of meditative stuff. She has a lot of lofty goals for it. So it's really great that she's able to do that. So, but I'm very excited that she's shipping up to Boston.
It's really interesting. That's really cool stuff.
Yeah, it is
We'll have to, I don't know if you can convince her to come on the pod. We'll have to get her for Boston weeks as we get closer to Boston.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm sure she would love to come on and talk.
That'd be a ton of fun. Well, great job, Sammy. I guess it's Sammy, not Samantha.
I mean, she'll answer to Samantha. I think her family calls her Samantha. I call her Sammy, but she goes by Sammy online.
Well, great job. Congratulations to everyone who did BQ.
Yes, congratulations.
Regardless of the buffer or not, you BQ'd, you worked hard, you earned it, and you're going to go 100%. Go back out there and get it. So congratulations.
Yes.
Keep
working hard, keep pushing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Boston weeks, but that's like still 6 months away. We're early October. We got some time, but we're gonna have.
It'll be here before we know it.
I know it really will. So good luck. Yeah. So go and hire a running coach and go to find Run the Journey on Instagram.
That's right.
And say, hey, I need a running coach and I want to run with Eric.
I mean, I'm taking on new athletes, so if you are interested, just reach out.
That would be awesome. It would be absolutely awesome. But this was fun. We've talked a lot. This was really great to catch up. It's a good icebreaker, coach. We're good. And then I'll be looking forward to my first assignment this week. What I'm really excited about is that you're going to give me runs to do.
Yep.
And you're going to tell me what to do. And the last, since COVID, since I've been trying, I know how to do hard workouts, but I throw in the running shoes and I'm like, I don't want to do it today. I'm just going to jog. And I haven't worked hard in a while. I had a guy at work, Scott, everyone knows Scott Black, and he was kind of my run coach telling me what to do, or I just did his triathlon workouts. And that's when I was awesome and I could run fast and I had a flat belly and I was setting PRs. I was a sub 22 5K. So
nice.
But now I'm like a sub 26 5K and I can run and I can run for a long time. I need the cardio back. So you're going to bring it back for me. I love it. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get you there. I'm excited to work with you. This will be a lot of fun.
Nicole, thank you for coming on the podcast and subbing in for Erica, who is still recovering from her 100-miler.
I hope she's recovering well. 100 miles. Like, damn, that's rugged, man. Good for her.
I'm looking forward to having her back. Maybe one day this week, she'll be on OTR Live, so we'll hear about it. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Don't forget, check us out on Instagram. If you see I'm throwing in things for engagement, like questions or poll, go do those. Those really help. I'm learning more and more about the algorithm. Our YouTube page, that's going to really be running in 2024. And check out our Patreon. We have a new Patreon, Nicole, but I'm waiting for Erica to come back to tell her. But we just got it the other day, and it is, I'll give you guys a clue. It is one of our past Breast Cancer Awareness Month guests we had. So I'm super excited that she jumped on, and that little Patreon money is really helping with a lot of little goals we're trying to get and achieve here. So thank you so much, guys, for your support. I know there's going to be some more fun and exciting things for you, Nicole, and I can't wait for that to happen and you to share the news. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And Erica, I know you're not here right now, but take us home.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to stretch.
Shared her story with us on the pod about the 5K for Jaye and what they were doing for one of their best friends in the world as someone's banging on my door. Guys, what's up? You want to say hi real quick?
This is a common occurrence now, I feel like. Hi.
Well,
oh, you got the whole gang.
They're typically gone because for the past couple of weeks, cheerleading's been on every night, but this is the first Monday since school started. There's no cheerleading. All right. I got it. This is my friend Jaye, and I got to do a podcast with her. So I know, buddy. I know. Usually no one's home. Sorry. Here's another friend. Like, there's so many people over right now, and I'm like,
hi.
All right, can we all go, please? Sorry. I'm sorry, buddy.
This is more interruptions than usual.
Yeah, it's all right.
Makes it fun, though. Makes it fun.
No, they haven't been home for 6 weeks on Monday nights. All right. It's all right because I messed up the intro. Here we go.
Restart.
All right.